We'll have Joe in tomorrow with the options lesson. But for Sept and I, we're going to send you off. Any final thoughts you want to drop?
See you on Friday, and give Joe a warm welcome for tomorrow, because he's great. He's awesome. Peace, guys.
Take care, guys.
Welcome, everybody. It is time for the After Neutral. Look, obviously, the event is still going on. I'm probably going to, I'm not going to listen to it. I have it in front of me. I can pay attention to it if I want to. If they say anything significant, obviously, we'll let you guys know. But, yeah, the market loving what they're hearing out of this right now, the Meta Connect event, and it's continuing to ramp up. Oh, okay, now all of a sudden it's a little bit of a pullback, but it was continuing to ramp up, now a little bit of a pullback. They're not done or anything. Zuck is still on the podium. Cole's notes, Meta went up, Unity went down as they were getting basically slapped with a competing product here, so not necessarily good for Nvidia. There's actually someone already asked in the chat, is Unity along? I actually tried Unity on the initial bounce, and it just was not holding a bid when I was in. It since has made a bottom off 21. I feel like it's calmed down a bit, but they got shellacked, giving up all of yesterday's move on this Connect event. So this is what happens when you compete with big dogs, and big dogs come out with a new trick, is you tend to get slapped around a little bit. It does happen from time to time. So not good look for Unity. Pretty much the opposite chart of Meta. I don't wonder if maybe it'll be a bid when they finish this. That could give Unity a bid, but yeah, not looking good for them. Down 7%, Meta flying to some fresh highs. I don't think it'll take till the end of the year. I tend to agree with Sean in that. The end of the year, 600? Maybe next week. I don't know. We'll see. It might pull back into VWAP as we speak here. Oh, what's this? Okay,
the end of the day, great product. Let's just wait to see what happens right here. You know, you talked about big dog. I mean, this is it. This is big dog trading right here. 569 long, out 573.50 on that last break. We don't have 575. We could have waited for that. This is $5, $4.50 right there on Meta while we're just sitting here talking about it. Not only that, we gave you some of these ideas when we were watching the event. We really liked it. Then Jensen came on and this happened. Happened a little bit before that. They love those new glasses. That came through. Meta finally right there. I mean, into VWAP, into the 50-period moving average. We just stay true to who we are, man. And there it is right now. It's a big move up there for Meta. Wow, we're short Amazon and Nvidia, Amazon and Rivian right now. We just got stopped out on a little trade there for Nvidia. We were shorting it up into the 50 period and then it broke out. I was kind of the same way. I thought we could break lower there. So we still may, I mean, Nvidia is by far the #1 name. We talk about that all the time today, and we will talk more about it, but we just lost a little bit there, gave back about 20% of the day, trying to go short there on Meta. But hey, man, we made a heck of a lot more, going short on Nvidia. Made a lot more going long there on Meta. So that's real trading, man. Follow realtrading.com if you want to be able to take advantage of that. We just come in here, we sit down, we've been here for a minute. We just made back, you want to talk about lunch money, I mean, boom to the upside right there. Huge move. Want to thank everybody for joining us again. I don't know when the event's over. I'm back on the show now, so you guys can pay attention to that. But man, oh man, was it a money-making opportunity for myself. So you got to get aggressive. You got to know the style that you trade, and we like to trade. There it is, Meta, adding some digits to the P&L today. So that went well. I think it's a success. Meta probably my #1 holding right now. I really think it's blue skies ahead. This is a huge name. Huge move. Let's go Meta.
Yeah, like I said, they're still going on right now. They have like I don't know, it looks like a director or producer guy up there. He did Kick-Ass. I don't know the guy, but it is what it is. We'll let you guys know what's happening. There was also, by the way, there was a move in DJT was going a little bit here. I want to get to this. I know Sharif's getting ready, getting locked and loaded, so we can go over some of the names that you guys wanted. Trump had a rally. This was trying to rally. It was unable to break out that 14.4. So I'm still, this is still the level to watch after, resistance, support. It's trying to consolidate here and break higher. Not a heck of a lot of volume left in it. My gut would be this might want to wait. It's up 10% today, but it might just wait until the event is done, right? Like all the eyeballs are on Meta right now. So I think, when the event is done, if this is still languishing or consolidating, I shouldn't say languishing for stock is up 10%, but if it's still going sideways when the event is finished, maybe look for a secondary push on DJT. That 14.4 is kind of a big one. Relief rally day 2, I suppose, for a DJT. So at least for now, this thing isn't headed to $10 for a couple of days in a row. It was able to bounce. Good for them.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decided by you. So make sure to join us during the midday show and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. Let's start with a look at the futures. The NQ is the only indice that's green right now, guys. The ES is down about 1/5%. The Dow down 2/3, and the Russ absolutely getting murked today, for lack of a better word, about 1% down for the Russell 2000. But the first ticker, as decided by you guys, NVDA, and it's been a big mover, selling off a little bit as the day goes on. There is this headline, though. Nvidia expected to produce about 450,000 Blackwell chips by the end of this quarter. That's a potential $10 billion in addition to the revenue they're already generating, guys.
Yesterday, Tesla was the #1 stock here for trade. Today, it's Nvidia. Okay, and it's basically the exact same thing as we scroll down into here. This is your #1 trade of the day, a 122 long break. I was talking with Yannick and some of the boys behind it. It was like nervous because it was happening immediately during the day, right? But we took it right away, right off the break. There's the move higher. Let's go over there. Go follow me at Trader TV Sean. There's the walk and talk. I want to thank everybody for your comments. A couple nice discussions throughout the day as well. Go find me there on X, and I hope you won't be disappointed. But all right, let's go over to Nvidia. An absolutely perfect day without any blemishes until now. We just went short there on Nvidia and lost it our short was we lost about 20, 30 cents or so, about short 85s, out 15s. But there it is right there. It's what dreams are made of. We already talked about this. A lot of traders behind us make their months just on this play again right there. We battled back perfectly on this play. Nice take. There's 122 breaking. There's the huge long. There's the reload. There's 122, 124.80. And then we held our last 5% as we left you guys. And we talked about that. And there was a break of 124. So on our last 5%, we take 250 on it. It was a great 150 on it. It was just great trading here today. Nvidia, raise it up, man. It's a trophy kind of a day on that trade alone. We're really proud to have that. Make sure you guys double check. Sticky note every single day, man. Bangers like this. I mean, there's even more on here. I'm sure we'll get to it as we continue. But yeah, we're over the moon one more time.
Yes, sir. They're still going. By the way, this is they're doing some like superhero stuff with Cena, and they got like I'm talking about the MetaConnect event, and they were just doing some parkour. Basically, the high wire stuff with the glasses on, some first person. It was really cool stuff. And Meta just made a fresh high while that was going on. So Cena came on there. They had a couple of other people I didn't really recognize, but I mean, it is what it is. Cena's the guy that I knew out of that group. So it's still making a power move. And the lesson of the day, we're talking about, first things first, it was the breakout on Nvidia. It was #1 on my note. I think for a lot of people when this broke, that was it. When it curled, this is 950. I trailed out of Nvidia at 950, and at that moment, Intel made the break of the level we mentioned yesterday. So this is Intel's level, 2330. Since the announcement, the Qualcomm rumor, I should say, the Qualcomm rumor was at 2330. It broke out, got all the way to $24. Actually pulls back in here and trying to hold support at that 2330 level. So it looks like the breakout level has turned into a bit of support on Intel. The other thing running, AMD is doing a bit of a power move to the upside as well. The chips are looking strong. It's not all good, however, in chipland. Whoops, SMCI. Why does it always go blue ocean first, the overnight market? Yeah, I don't know why that's #1 in the draft, but it isn't all roses, right? So this chip name, red, SMCI on the day, like everything else, it was going. But when the shift happened and all the others started to catch up with NVIDIA and make their own moves, it was SMCI losing the bid here. Red day for SMCI. I didn't trade SMCI. I actually went over to ARM. ARM was relatively weak as well. So I was looking at the short in ARM. I had one short on trend with ARM when everything else started to lose VWAP there in the middle of the day. I just kind of took that one from 46.5 to 45.5. It was like a one and done trade for me. ARM actually bouncing a bit when SMCI can't do anything. SMCI does have that split coming up next week. So they're doing the reverse split on October 1st. Oh, shoot. See, I don't have it in my, I'm not listening to it anymore, but
Nor do I.
I'm still watching it. It's not done yet. Like, they are still going.
Ramin, check this out.
Yeah, it's still going even higher.
There's the dip buys for, not even dip buys, man. We started liking what we were hearing, and we started buying some meta there. Unfortunately, it breaks 574, and we wind up getting out. But there it is, man, 576 highs coming through. This could have a 590 on it by the time the day's over with. And then 600 will be tomorrow. I mean, it's only $15. Like, we're up $7 in the last hour. I mean, you can easily do this again. It's going to be, so your number one net trade today, and again, you can ask me, you can ask Neil, any of us, any of these questions, we'll let you know. Nvidia right now, by far the number one. The number two right here is going to be Meta now. Number three is hopefully going to be Amazon. And then we'll wait to see Rivian. I'm still in this one. We should have reloaded Rivian. We'll get to that in a minute. It looks like Tesla's actually for the office, the number two P&L stock today. So let's go find out more about Tesla.
Yeah, I got the nod today, Sean, from Piper Sandler. Their analyst, Alexander Potter, maintaining Tesla as an overweight, but raising the price target from 300 to 310. Today, we're going to get the launch of the Robo-Taxi event. That's going to be October 10th. We also have Q3 deliveries that come in focus, and the market's been waiting for those, especially with some of that China weakness.
Yeah, so just should have mentioned this already. Obviously, Apple with a competing product here. While we were talking about Meta, we'll get to Meta. Meta's on a category here, but Apple just broke the low of the day.
Yeah, I saw some.
Right, so as the high is going in Meta, you have an inverse relationship going on between Apple and Meta currently. So I was mentioning Unity because Unity had the more distinct move to the downside. It was not because Apple wasn't moving, but Apple, it's not looking good for them because you have the cheaper price point and you have a bunch of amazing features that the market's absolutely loving. And yeah, so it is what it is. Not good for Apple. I don't wonder if they might catch a bid when the event is finally over here. Just keeping an eye. They're still going. Tesla never gave 250 today, and it never broke out the top. So unfortunately, I didn't have any trades on Tesla. The only EV name we traded today was Rivian, which I think we all know. And yeah, 250 to the downside, never even came close. It feels to me, I mean, this is higher lows on a 15-minute. All you have is a series of higher lows into a potential break. The last time it did a bit of a double top, you had to wait a day, and then it broke it out. That was a couple of days ago through 40. That's like 244, a half in here. So that's what it seems like this 257 might be waiting for. Just a little bit of a nudge, and then we can take out this multi-day high. Kind of an inside afternoon, but hey, man, everyone's kind of paying attention. If you're not related to the Meta right now, you're not moving a heck of a lot, right? Like the futures are in a bit of a range. Most of the Mag 7 are in a bit of a range. You can see Tesla's in a bit of a range. It's Meta breaking out and Apple breaking down and a few related names that are essentially moving, probably until the event is done, I would say. But yeah, Tesla, a strong day. Just couldn't take out that 57 top. Nothing wrong with a consolidation day. Sometimes it makes the breakout even better.
Oh, man, I'm still feeling some kind of ways. All right, we got out of Meta at 574, so that's okay, 576 and change right now. All right, we did not have Tesla. Yesterday we had Tesla. It was a banger. It was one of our best trades. Was the best trade yesterday. We talked about that early. It was breaking this 255, was the number one stock. And today the break on Nvidia number one. This could have been it again today. Look at this break right there, right off the open. 353, 253. I don't think this will get to 253, but 353. That was a great break right in there. The pre-market, boom, gave you $3 immediately, came back in, resisted, and then bang again right to the upside. Tesla's an absolutely beast of a stock. It's the second best day trading stock, in my opinion, right now. You got Nvidia number one, you got Tesla number two. This will be on watch tomorrow. We have to trade these names. Biggest trades of the month were both on Tesla and on Nvidia, and I promise you there's more to come. As long as I'm looking over here, we'll be looking at these names to go. Tonight is Micron. That could be a fun one to trade. Let's go find out what Micron's doing, a name that I haven't looked at yet, but we'll analyze the charts live with you.
Make sure to check out the Micron earnings with Neil on the market recap show. Micron going to report earnings after 4 o'clock. It has been a tough little while for Micron since basically making all-time highs. The market cap is down to the tune of around $70 billion. With respect to what they're expecting to be earned here by analysts, $1.13 per share for profit. Compare that to this time last year when they lost $1.07 per share. They're also expected to print about $7 2/3 billion in revenue on the quarter. That's also up markedly from last year when they printed about $4, guys.
Expected moves is just a hair shy of 10%, double digits tonight. Well, that's the expectation. They should report at about 4:05. So right after the bell, we'll be going right into Micron earnings. They're the big one. There's like Jefferies Financial or something that's also reporting. But Micron,
Nvidia.
like what's annoying about Micron is like you have this like clear distinction between Nvidia and Nvidia, AMD, Intel was super strong, and then you had ARM was weak, and then SMCI was kind of weak. Micron, I feel like in the middle today, up 1%. You would think, and this is why we didn't trade it, because going into the earnings, do you expect it to make the big move? It did a little mini breakout the other day. It's just consolidating higher. And I think this is actually a good thing for Micron if we're going to hopefully delay a move. I tend to think when it's trading to the downside like this, and you can, like, it already broke a bit of a trend, but a big downward trend, it's setting up that the better opportunity is going to be to the upside. So my hope is that there's just anything good that comes out of it after it's been so badly beaten up. What's crazy about this stock is I don't know how many times you'll look at something that's down like 60% from its highs in less than half a year, in just over a quarter, and it's still actually up on the year. Like, that's what's wild about Micron. Like, it's given back a top the same way like even like an Intel had, but unlike Intel, it's actually up on the year because it had such a big start from like the mid 80s or so. But yeah, I don't think I'm not gonna trade this chip name this afternoon. I feel like there's so many you can look at. You can look at Nvidia, you can look at Intel, you can look at AMD, you can look at SMCI, ARM, all of that. Just no reason to be worrying about Micron until after the bell, I think.
A little bit sad about missing this reload. We are 50 cents in the money on Amazon, but I actually realized, and it's my bad, I had my alert ticker scanned, scrolled too low, and I was missing all of the top alerts.
Wait a minute.
So that's too bad.
On Benzinga?
No, not Ben.
On something else. Like what?
The eSignal platform there. We may or may not be sponsored by some of these guys pretty soon. So we're testing out some of their software as we go, as well as, shout out to Trade Ideas and Michael Noss and everybody that's part of our program, and Benzinga Pro platform. They all have alerts. It's just a matter of setting them up. That was a VWAP alert right there for Amazon, so it's too bad for that one. Too bad, so sad, love, dad. Okay, so right there, Micron, again, I just have to echo those same comments. You can always look at opportunities during the day, but I didn't look at Micron, and I don't really like to trade stock heading into earnings or even the day after earnings. You guys all know that. My only play really is VWAP plays or gap until VWAP. We learned that. So we'll wait to see if there is any gap in Micron. For me, I've already sort of planted my flag with Micron. I gave this call a couple days ago down here when it was at $88 and said it's worth a buy if you can stomach the earnings. Now, I don't think it's wise to get into anything ahead of any earnings calls. I am not your financial advisor, but at the same time, it's been good. So I think if you did take that, I would definitely be taking something out right now. De-risk ahead of earnings. I don't know enough about DRAM, but the only name I ever hear they talk about is Micron. So if chips are going to be hot, obviously, Meta with this Meta Quest event, by the way, has basically just justified, in my opinion, take it for what it's worth. Wow, a little barcoding up here. Hey, Meta, what's up with that? Has now justified all this AI spend. They're now going to have a product that is going to be monetizable. These glasses, whatever they charge extra for the Llama 2 model there that they're going to have. I just think it's going to be huge. And not only have they justified it, but all this spend that they keep putting forward is going to keep on going, right? The more people that they have signed up, he said something like 500 million users or something of Meta AI. Like, it's just going to get bigger and better. It's already the #1. And again, all of these agents, mega spend, what are they called? Mega scalers?
Hyperscalers.
Right. So Meta's one, Amazon's another, Google's another. They're all floating into Nvidia, right? And so Micron's going to have to play a part in some of this.
AMD's got a sliver.
No, they all have slivers, but yeah. At the end of the day, it's all Not really. It's all Blackwell, man, and you're going to hear a lot more about this. They even had Jensen in. Where's Lisa Sue at? Where's Lisa Sue at? Jensen's in there wearing the glasses. The problem with AMD, not that there's a problem, is that there's also a software component that many people don't understand.
That's the issue.
The thing is that you can't just switch from one to the other, man. It's not like just saying, oh, my whole family's on Apple, I'm going from Pixel to Apple. That was as smooth as can be. Once you're in the environment and you've built apps on the back end of Blackwell and all these different platforms that NVIDIA provides, you are not getting away from that. So honestly, NVIDIA, hit the road, Jack. It's NVIDIA's story. AMD can basically...
One thought with just one thing I want to add with Meta specifically. We can go right back to Meta. If you have to think about the ease of use, right? Like I look at my parents and like where are they going to connect and use AI? And there's pretty much two places. They're on Apple phones, and the entire family uses WhatsApp. Like all Antiguans, West Indians are all in WhatsApp. So where are you going to end up paying for a service? They're very unlikely to ever go out to ChatGPT and pay for a... That's just not going to happen. They're going to stay wherever the heck it is that they already are that's convenient. And that is a large percentage of the population, especially when you're older. So I know for a fact, like it's going to be one or the other. It's going to be... They're either using Apple products for AI or they're going to be Meta through Llama. So I think it's an easy win. And 100% for my parents, I can tell you for a lot of my family that's going to be the case. Like me, I'll just go wherever because I don't care. But yeah, it's ease of use for a lot. As we talk about Meta here, they're still going on the event, although I haven't seen anything really big since the John Cena stuff. So a bit of a leveling off here happening in Meta.
Yeah, there's the Meta move, guys. I mean, unbelievable move up, all-time highs printing today, midday. That is obviously trading higher as their Meta Connect 2024 event wows the market. Here's some of the stuff we're looking at that were obviously reported. This is the new version of the Meta glasses done with Ray-Ban. This is version number 2, but this is what caught my attention right here. These are the augmented reality glasses. If you look at them in the show, they're a bit thicker. They project things that are not there onto the screen. Very cool. And the last slide there is their new Quest 3S starting at $299 US, going all the way up to about 500, much lower or much less than some of their counterparts, obviously with the Apple Vision Pro being about 3,500.
We didn't make enough to go out and buy one of those Meta Quests here, but we made a good trade. And it was buying this 569 a couple times, man. We the first time we bought it, we actually got in and out there and lost about 40 cents once we took view up and then we took the 50 period. This was going to be a real tight stop in case this happened, but this did not happen. So we wound up buying back. This is what I said, again, love you, my wife. This is what I said I would not do yesterday when we had our little conversation. But it fell right back into the 50 period again. And we just was like, all right, let's rock one more time. So look at this trade. You guys want to talk about, I'm really proud of the way I trade, but now the risk to reward thing is just elevated, man. We gave you some 4 to 5 to 1 winners earlier today, and this would have been something similar. We were trying to get it to Satya and to Sharif, what we were doing. They're doing a great job of covering it. But I was putting in the chat, we're going long, we're going long, we're long. They kept on saying all this. First piece out right there, 570, which was the 200 period moving average. Then we let it rip all the way up, and then when it came back in, I said enough is enough. A break of this 574, 573.75 is where we wind up getting out. So it looks like a good out. In the time, it does drop back into 572 and change, but it makes that move upside right now. I think the move is probably done. I'm not going to trade it too much anymore today. Let's let it settle down. Let's let the reviews come in. But Meta is one of, if not the biggest stock in my portfolio now, and it just continues to climb higher and higher and higher. Satya actually made a good point, and so was Sharif, talking about, can you believe this name was $88? Sharif, yes. I tell you this. You remember that this was down to $88 because what were we talking about live on this show? We were talking about our own buys, and I know Sharif was as well, down there sub 100. When Meta had a PE of it at 15 to 18, that was ridiculous. Meta was a huge buy. That's why it's one of the #1 holdings right now in the portfolio as we hold this on for a while. Meta continues to work out. Man, what a great name. What a great move. Mark Zuckerberg, going up that list, man. He's already number 2. I don't know if he could take out
That's a tough
Elon, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean the math it is what it is, but like they're all chilling right now. They just did a little bit on making some apps on Instagram or developing on Instagram, and they're still kind of going on here with some social media. But for the most part, it feels as if like the most sexy stuff in the event is kind of done. What's crazy about Meta is it just started a new upward trend after that August. Like if you look, this is a weekly chart, by the way, you can tell by the gigantic W. No, but it just started a new trend. And if you look at that here, you have the August 5th, like everyone panics, that bottom, and you can sort of see that trend. I'm not going to bother drawing it, but you've established a new trend above $400 here on Meta to the upside. I'm fortunate in that, there was a few big cap tech names that I was like, it's silly. Like I'm just going to get in front of the 200 period moving average instead of waiting for the 200 period moving average. I was lucky in that Meta was one of them. We didn't get I think we got Meta and we got some Softy, but Meta now breaking out of the high. I took some out going into this event, but that was more like a trim because I didn't want it to be one of my top 4 holdings. That's just myself. And I think it's justified pretty much everything. When the event is done, I do feel like there's going to be a dip on a sell the news. I have no idea when they're finishing this, however. And the things to keep in mind here for Meta are Apple, competitor that has been only going down essentially since they started the event, and then Unity Software, which is like Unity just caught a big bid here, and I don't know why this is already going up. I kind of felt like this would wait until they just mentioned. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I see it right now. They just you know what? I'm delayed. My thing is delayed. They just mentioned Unity, and then they got a bit of a spike here. Unity 6 ready here, so that is just like that. Competitor, it goes to the downside. They mention it, and it actually zooms up. I just realized I was a little bit delayed on mine by about 10 seconds or so. So there you go, Unity. I'm not going to chase this move because to me, like the second they're done talking about it, it might just roll back over. And this was up at like $23 almost when the event started.
DKNG today, DraftKings having itself a hell of a day. Funny enough, it has no catalyst specific to itself. It's running off sympathy to Flutter Entertainment, FLUT. I'll show you the chart in a second. They basically projected positive guidance into 2027 to the tune of $21 billion. That's about a 14% CAGR compounding annual growth rate. And here is the look at FLUT. Not one that I had knowledge of before, guys, but up 5.5.
Yesterday we had down here. This is yesterday's sticky note. Obviously, we cannot predict the future. That would be really nice if we could. We were looking at that $40 break yesterday. It didn't happen. Good name with momentum. Then all of a sudden, now today, this is what I'm talking about, man. Buy the best stocks and wait for them to do something. There's Unity. Hold on a second. Unity going back upside. PKNG right here. So there it is, 41.30. So again, good move early. There's $40. Unfortunately, we talked about the fish that were fried earlier, man. I mean, Nvidia was monstrous. There's no way I would have as many shares on DraftKings as I would have Nvidia. It's not even close. But right there, $40 doesn't really come in. It goes to 40.20s or so. But again, another good move. I missed the Alibaba trade. I don't feel so bad about missing this one, but $40, I really like it, man. There's the break right there on the daily. So I love the stock. I love the name. It's DraftKings. Let's just continue to see if it wants to make an upside move here back into VWAP 41. Worth trying there, but not in love with the trade. It's DraftKings. I think you can probably buy it a little bit lower. Good news from Flutter today. Again, customer acquisition is what it's all about. These guys got the customers. Gambling is, a losing man's game, and you're just going to have to wait to see what winds up happening here with DraftKings. But I like the stock, and I think you're a couple upgrades away from being really surprised at something that this name could do.
Yeah, DraftKings, great move. It's worth mentioning they're exactly the same percentage as Flutter up right now, but vastly different moves after the bell. Like remember, Flutter, it is now dual listed, so you can trade Flutter Entertainment over here on the New York exchange, but its primary listings over in London, which closes at 11:30. I'll get to that in a quick little second. Look, dipping into previous highs on DraftKings. It went to VWAP. It was relatively weak because Flutter was coming down at the open. So bounce and then coming down at the open. Obviously, it ended up breaking out the top, and this is an assist. Like everyone in the chat was like, "Oh, DraftKings is breaking back out." But the key, I think, was once Europe closed, which is right around here, like you could see like Europe closes, Flutter's still trending to the downside, but all of a sudden you caught a higher low bid and the divergence just continued on DraftKings. Like this kind of stopped doing a lot of volume and then you got a secondary push on DraftKings. I think it'll be important for it to hold on to this breakout price, but on the daily, it's almost like it doesn't have to continue the trend up. Like it's, okay, great. Does it hold on to this breakout above 41 or even the $40 level? If it does, maybe it's a clean shot up to 45, the next high. But look at the support on this at the 200 period moving average at 39. Like it could pull all the way back into there and still be good. If you were to draw a trend line, the trends are still very much intact for DraftKings. So I think it's a great start for them. You know, you're in the thick of things with betting on football as we go, and we know how big that is going to be. So I like this one. I think you want to go. I'm going to go into tomorrow still thinking continuation long on DraftKings. Like when you have a trend like this, you know, it's when we show things like a Rivian chart or we show things like a Mullen chart or a DJT chart, and we're like, oh, with the short till it's not. Well, when something starts breaking out again, it's kind of a long until proven otherwise here with DKNG. And we'll keep an eye on Flutter as well if we can. Oh, shoot. I missed, they switched to someone else talking, but I'm not really sure. Again, I'm not listening to the event anymore. I'm more just curious when they're done with the Meta Connect event, but they are still ongoing. I just want to double check what it's doing here. Yeah, it's still kind of in a pullback phase. Yeah, they didn't really, I mean, it feels like all of the most exciting stuff kind of got thrown in the middle there of the event and not at the end or at the beginning. So maybe you're getting a pullback off of that because it's been a little bit lackadaisical since that last move there in Meta. Unity, I'm just double checking. Yeah, I got the spike when they mentioned it. It's kind of holding right around here, 2170 on Unity.
Guys, very, very proud of everybody behind us. We do not have a red trader today. So there it is. It's spin money, money, money again on that one. So congratulations to all the traders behind us. And again, we talked about the reasons why Tesla today and Nvidia, absolute monsters. So far, so good there. All right, I'm going to put a bid here, 192.50, I think, for Amazon, but you're still at 20,200. We talked about that key level from yesterday. Hasn't really meant too much here today. I mean, it was the top early. That's what we were playing short off of initially. Then it broke, and then the long hit, and that's where I was like, oh, man, that's where we missed that TQQ trade of $72. But that's okay. And then right now, again, trying to fade off of that. I feel like the market might not do too much here rest of day. We can watch Nvidia and see if that wants to move. If there are any names out there that potentially you want us to look at, please put them in the chat, and I'm all over that right now. We can have a quick look at Intel. We haven't traded it yet today, but a big move there early on Intel. I mean, like I said, I even hit Nvidia with more shares than I would hit Intel, to be honest with you. That's how much confidence we had in that play, but there it goes, breaking through 23, a good little level there again on Intel. Like, to have noticed that would have been pretty cool, right? I mean, that's another long for anybody on Intel, long and then a hold, obviously, to the upside there. So kind of same way, similar chart to Nvidia, breaking higher. Right there goes Intel today. So boom, nice move there. We can check out its brother AMD to see what that did. That broke off 160, I believe, as well. Yeah, straight there. So actually breaks off 158. 160 wasn't great. I guess it was that take right here. 161, maybe something, but that continues to climb higher and higher, and at the high of the day as well. AMD actually looking to me,
it's kind of stronger.
Yeah, way stronger. It's above, way stronger. It's above VWAP. It's all of that right now. Why didn't I get that Nvidia? I got to refresh my PC here. I don't know why we didn't get that Nvidia note right there. About this being at VWAP, because I think I would have faded that as well back down to the downside. So yeah, that's too bad. All right, AMD though, what I was saying, if you're just going to look at stock, you might as well. That's what we do. Not only do we look at them, which actually trade them. So there it is, a little bit of a pullback above VWAP. Nvidia just bounced to the downside off of this. Whoa. AMD's holding above. So if you're going to pick a stronger name, despite Nvidia being huge today, AMD right there breaking above 162.50, definitely a good little look if that does come through. So yeah, Celsius Holdings, I see. You know what? I mean, I don't know if anyone, it's obviously this is a drink name there. Yeah. I don't know, like Prime is now $1. everywhere here at 7-Eleven or our grocery stores. Those used to be $4 or $5 buying them for my kids. Now you're coming back in $31 straight to the downside right now. Yeah, I don't know. This stock.
I don't know where the bottom is on things like that.
Definitely broken. Yeah, there is no bottom, so that's the problem. Yeah, huge runner, Celsius, but down to the downside. I would say you just want to keep going short. It's like Rivian, man. I mean, it's why we have literally the high of the day here on Rivian. I mean, look what we have. We have Rivian right here at 1160. As we talked about it, trade bad stock short, and I mean that's Rivian, and back into 11 and a quarter right now. It's actually where I'm long, 11 and a quarter, and I'm not be adding more to that position as we've taken some out there in the $18 range. But yeah, Celsius Holdings.
Yeah, yuck.
Yikes. Do some more work on that one before you buy it.
Yeah, be careful with that one. This segment, are we ready for it? I think brought to you by VinFast, Vietnam's leading electric vehicle manufacturer. They've announced their Q2 2024 financial results. Deliveries surged by 44% quarter over quarter, with 13,172 EVs delivered, bringing the first half total to over 22,000, a 101% increase year over year. Q2 revenue climbed to $375 million, up 33% quarter over quarter. VinFast's success in Vietnam is pivotal, driven by rising EV adoption. With global expansion and new models like the VF3, VinFast aims to deliver 80,000 vehicles in 2024, maintaining its commitment to sustainable mobility. Shout out to VinFast. It's actually a really good looking vehicle. I can't tell a lie. It's a pretty one. I've never had a chance to be honored to be inside one. I think that would be cool. But just to get back to trading, a couple of things. I was going to go over Intel, but I'm going to start with Mara. We had a reload in Mara. Mara should have stayed a short. It didn't. I tried a long in Mara today. And Mara, here's going to show you the short that we're mentioning the last couple of days and the last few weeks on MARA. Bitcoin kind of failing that 64,000 over and over again. So it was at 16.5 into 16.7 area. I was short it one time at the open, and then it started to go into the breakout. That's where I went red. I took the original break, like, okay, kind of started to go, went 15, 20 cents, then went into the dip buy. And it was the dip buy 3 times instead of once. That was a fail. Got a little bit back on the short there, but then the last short off of the bottom range here just broke 16.3 and got me out. I still feel like this is a short trade, however. I mean, the way I look at it, when you zoom this chart, when you zoom it back out, I think you can see the resistance on Mara. We've talked about this on the daily, and I even said it needs to break 17 and then kind of got in going long into 17 instead of waiting for 17 to break. Like, look at the consolidation, regardless of what happens over in BTC. You can see once it gets above 1650, there's been sellers on this stock, and then 15 has been the bottom here on Mara. So Intel, it's really trying to hang on underneath VWAP here. So it was a break at 2330. That was a resistance for the double top break or triple top break on the daily chart. And it goes right into that support level. Like during one of the events going on. See, that's the kind of thing, like I'm not paying attention to the event and doing a couple of other things getting ready for the afternoon. That was probably an easy reload right at the breakout price. But now look at this sideways action. Like do something. Either show a bit of a fail above VWAP or start to move lower here on Intel. I favor the long today because it's over 2330. So I'd much rather this gain VWAP and then look for a long above as opposed to just trying to go long when it's underneath VWAP. So, but it's on the watch today because it's up 3.5%, and it did bounce pretty much exactly where I'd like to see it, which is at that 23.3 zone for Intel. Just a reminder, it's in a slight upward trend on the daily chart. You know, you've got higher lows on the daily for the first time in a while, and then also higher highs for the first time in a very long while on Intel. So for now, above the 50 period, it's looking like a long, as long as it holds that 23 1/3. I'm looking long at least until something, the next piece of bad news.
All right, right here, we're going to go Dell long. Let's give a trade idea live in the wild. All right, 120 break long on Dell, right? I mean, this looks pretty good here on the daily chart. Looks like it's a good little level to have a quick look at. So there's 120 coming into play for Dell. It's really 120.50, but I don't, it's already 240. I don't really want to wait for 120.50. If it gets up there and we could take 50 cents, great. The 50-period moving average, it's kind of watched it since it broke. It did try to break it right there. It did break it by maybe 10 pennies. So I kind of like the long here if it breaks. So we do have the order already in. We'll just refresh to make sure that we do have it in there. And I don't have any stop orders in actually right now, just this one. So, all right, so Dell break of 120. I like the stock. I like that look right there, breaking through. So breaking through on the daily, breaking through on the 1 minute chart. Intraday love for Dell. So we'll wait to see right now. There goes Dell on the 20 minute as well. All right, LightSpeed's moving around.
Well, I just threw it in the chat there.
Company.
LightSpeed Commerce working with JP Morgan Chase to explore a sale. So that was the news that just hit. You're seeing it up about 9% right now, giving a little bit back with big volume spike. On the daily here, you can see resistance at 15.5 bucks. Triple top at 15.5 bucks. This is where you expect a little bit of a pullback. I love when there's news of a potential deal, but it's a little bit different when you're exploring a sale as opposed to a rumor of someone wanting to buy you. Like that news with Intel the other day, that was a rumor that Qualcomm specifically was interested in actually buying them. Or, when you're putting yourself up for sale, you're just hoping that someone comes out to pick you up. So I don't love those as much in this case, where they're just exploring their options for a sale as opposed to someone actually saying they're interested in buying them. I'm not going to chase this move, but if it can hold on to VWAP on the way back, I think that'll be worth watching. I'm going to throw it up on a level 2. The other thing worth watching here is, DJT does not get. DJT couldn't quite make it to the top, to that 1440 level, all the way back into VWAP. I'm actually not sure if that the Trump rally is over. I didn't hear one way or the other. My guess is it's probably still going on because those rallies usually last a while. But DJT not making the move back into 1440, where I thought that was a fade up there, all the way back in VWAP already.
All right, so a couple more examples of trades that I think I would love for the futures to do something. I mean, we may just short the futures and not even have to worry about individual stocks. Intel's up 3.5%. We just talked about it, but it's at VWAP. There we go. And I keep forgetting to hit that one. I'm going to have to do that more. Thank you, Fabian and or Ramin. I think it was Fabian over there. All right, there it is. Okay, yeah, we'll get it going. Right there. So yeah, trying to get this market to wake up a little bit. I don't hear those effects in my ear when you do that anymore. That would be cool if we could. All right, so yep, got it. There it is. Okay, good. All right, so here it is. Just looking for a downside move in Intel, possibly breaking. But I would be favoring the short on Intel just because we are. Well, I mean, look at the futures. This is what I mean. If you're going to do anything, and you wanted to make a trade right now, I mean, Nvidia 123 seems a bit cheap to me. I mean, we can maybe take advantage of that. It would be more the futures here at 20,002. 20,200 right there. Definitely worth looking at, I think, for a short. You have to give it 10 handles. We've already wicked up to 07 before, so that's not a horrible short. But I'm not really, honestly, I mean, we have a really small position. We talked about 5% left on Amazon here. Amazon, we went long until we were wrong, which is fine. Good trade today. We're up well on Amazon. Amazon's going to be your P&L number 3 actually, Meta number 2. And then we flipped it, so we went long. We got stopped out. We went long again. We finally got stopped out. Then we went short, and that was really pay dirt. We have another bid down here, but it's just not hitting us at 192.50. So I don't know if that's going to come into play or not. Most likely not right here. We do have an LFT, our last trade. Well, Meta was good, but we had recently lost on Nvidia right here. So that's like the loss that we have on the day. We gave back about 15% of what we made on Nvidia, but Nvidia was really huge. So 15% does hurt a little bit, but we went short. We should have gone more short at VWAP, but like I said, I didn't get that alert. So whatever, that's all good. Let's go back over to Alibaba. We have Alibaba written down on our sticky note. Look, that Chinese stimulus, man, I like it. I like it a lot. But we talked about this yesterday. We talked about it live on the show. We talked about it in the after show with Brian Shannon. I stuck my neck out and said, we will see a retracement in these plays. Yesterday, we were not long Alibaba, we were short NEO, and that was a great trade. To be short NEO yesterday was one of the better trades. Again, today, we wanted long Alibaba. Where did we want long Alibaba? I mean, believe it or not, look, Sticky Note Nation is here, right? It says $94 long on this stock, on this note. You know where we went to? 94.12. I mean, we were waiting at 94.02. Silly me. We should have paid more attention down there, but Alibaba today, nice retracement up. We nailed it. So all it's really doing is just giving your boy more confidence that we already have. So far, so good there. Let's just keep on watching today. We've almost made back what we lost yesterday in one day, which is pretty epic for me. So far, so good here. We had 3 red days this month. And we're basically wiping that floor from that yesterday right now here. So 244, man, we continue to be who we are. Talk to Josh Allen, man. You know, we've got the best quarterback in our hand, and we're trying to put on the best trades. Yes. And I hope, just like in football, man, you guys can, just like in football, when you can, I know we don't put the scores up here. We don't think that's overly too important. But right now, you can clearly see the trades that we have on today, and hopefully it's been successful for you as well. Like I said, not a red trader on the floor today.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Shout out to Sticky Note Nation and the guys behind us.
Yeah, great looks today all around. And by the way, for those of you, there's some chatter in the chat about this. Hey, if you look at the top, I'm pointing at our screen, our monitor up here, up at the top. Some notes from the rally, obviously. So Trump talking about putting 100% tariffs on every single car coming across the old Mexican border there. So
The old Mexican border.
It's a new feature for us. We just added that in the last couple of weeks here, so you can check out. Stay right here. You're going to get breaking news when we get things on Benzinga, like that LightSpeed, which is still going higher, by the way. Or follow some tweets in there on news, which is always going to be important. Yeah, AMD's breaking higher as we speak, but we have a certain person already speaking about Benzinga and the news that we just got on LightSpeed. Are we ready?
I know. It's all good.
Okay, well, we're going to have Ryan on in a few minutes here, so he's going to be coming through. Meta event's still ongoing. Again, nothing really crazy happening in it anymore.
I know Ryan did not have a $4 or $5 winner here on Meta because he talked to us before. He does not trade Meta, so we could talk to him about it. I'm sure he has opinions on the call there and on the Meta Connect, but we absolutely nailed that one. I see this guy ready to go in the green room, and I don't have what I should have with me today, but he's got the goods right now. This is, of course, we do have another, love here today as well. We have Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. My brother gave me this as a de-stressor and a squishy toy. So instead of me hitting keys and making more moves here, we just squeeze Josh Allen's head a little bit and get some winning trades out of this one as well. But whenever we are ready, he is getting the share screen ready to go. Are we ready? All right, it's Trader Talk. Let's go. Let's bring on Ryan. Yo, what's up, Ryan? I thought it was a Bears jersey.
No, Blackhawks.
No, it is the Blackhawks jersey there. So is that some Connor Bedard? No, it's Captain. Who you got over there?
No, I wanted to get your opinion on this. It is indeed 98. It is indeed Connor Bedard. But here's the thing, man. I knew the NHL was changing their authentic jerseys, and I knew last year was going to be my last opportunity to get the Adidas Primacool one, which is amazing. They're going at Fanatics Junk coming up here. Talk about that if you want to.
Whoa.
And I said to myself, Bedard's clearly the best player on this team. He's going to be the captain at some point, right? So you got that jersey from the last year it was available, his rookie season. You better go ahead and get that C put on there. So I know we just got news about Nick Foligno being the captain. Bedard's going to be your captain. Ryan's got some foresight, got the C already on the chest, baby.
Good one. I was going to say, I was like, I recognized the number, and I was like, wait a second. Can't be Bedard because it's not captain, but hey, hats off to you. Great jersey there. We like that a lot. And I like the red, too. I like the red right
Best
there.
Best jersey in sports, baby.
Oh, let's not go that far.
We'll go that far. You can take that to the bank.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a classic Maple Leafs jersey, maybe signed by Wendell Clark, is a little bit better, but that's okay. To each their own, right? I mean, ultimately, it's easier to smile when you've won a cup, at least once in your life, in lifetime. So Leafs fans have the hard way, but we have a classic jersey. I'm going to take the Leafs jersey 10 days out of 10.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to fight you on that. I'm surprised you went there with the Leafs not winning. I'll say this, from Chicago, someone that's not my primary team, I'm pulling for you, dude. Austin Matthews is something else. That team better get a win up there. I'm a Cubs fan. I went 108 years. Well, not me personally. All of us collectively went 108 years without winning a championship. I feel for you, Toronto fans.
Well, I'll tell you right now, like the thing about it, like the Leafs, if they ever win it, they're gonna this city is going to absolutely explode. A lot of things exploded today. That's my segue here, Ryan. So
Nicely done.
let us know what you, because look, you could have, obviously anyone looking at the chips is going to be, you're happy with the moves that happened in a host of chip names today, and then with the Meta Connect event still ongoing, like that made a big move to the upside. I know you look at a lot of small caps today. Were you looking at any of the big caps, or is it the small cap world again? They had Octo moving around early today. That was a bit of a hot one. Did you venture out of your comfort zone because of the kind of day it was?
I actually did not, and I wish that I did. Couple of things here. So I've actually had a busy afternoon where I really couldn't focus on trades. So all my trading happened here this morning. You're exactly right. I hit Octo several times. Actually didn't lose one time on Octo, which is rare. I normally lose one or two if I do multiple trades. And then I also hit RZLV, that AI play that's trading up. Now, LSPD, that LightSpeed that you mentioned, bang, big pop there. I actually did not trade that one. Was busy at that time, but that was a pretty good one. The Meta trade, I heard Sean talking before I came on here. No, Sean, I did not trade Meta for several points. Grats to you and anyone else in your chat that did that. I will say, though, man, the smart glasses and all of that stuff, when they develop some type of smart glass that shows me the green elevation and then also has my shot tracker after I hit my shot, I will throw money at that product, even if it has a Meta branding on it. So we'll see how long this lasts. Whoever comes up with those golf AI, whatever glasses, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Within a year, like if you, I don't know if you were actually watching the event, but
I was with the sound off.
Yeah, so if you like basically just looking at the capabilities with some of the fitness stuff they had, and then sort of juxtapose that with I don't know what the word is, the imposing or the holograms on the real environment, so like you're real and whatever. There's a word for it, augmented. Look, you can put those two together. They were pretty much already there. It's just a matter of taking that next step, right? This is the first step. The next step would be sort of combining those technologies. Of course it's going to happen. Like the way I see it, there is no chance that when anybody, the average person is going to the range or they're going out to play, and they're going to want to have these on so that you can sort of track your swing. I can see all kinds of applications for this. Like you could be using this in the batting cage, sort of to track spin rate off pitches. Like there's so much you could be doing with this, and the technology is already there on several fronts. So from a sports standpoint, as an enthusiast, yeah, there's lots that's going to be in there. The golfing thing, if it's not there within a year or two, I mean, I'd be incredibly surprised.
I'll tell you what, if I am going to play my first round next year and I've got glasses that are telling me how the green breaks, I'm going to be trying to shoot 60s, and that's not even remotely close to my best score ever. So I mean, I'm all on.
Damn.
Good luck with that. We're talking about golf here, but I mean, just straight up exercising, like being able to be on a bike and having a map in front of you telling you how fast you're going, how fast oncoming traffic is going, if you're catching up to someone in front of you, how long it's going to be before you reach an intersection or that person. I mean, there's so many applications for this. That is actually exciting, and you don't look stupid like the Google Glass did a number of years ago.
Well, I'll be honest. Like it's the fitness stuff. Like that's the stuff that got me excited. 100%. Like being active is not right now because I'm injured, but like being active has been a big part of my life. It's just part of the lifestyle. And so for anybody like that, like it's just so much. It's just fun. Like it adds to. You're going to be more efficient in your sporting. You're going to be able to improve. It's going to make it a lot more fun. And then on top of that, think about this for anybody that's like on the leisure side of things. Right. By the way, LightSpeed just continues to go. LightSpeed, he's breaking 16 now.
I'm sitting here watching it on another screen while we're talking. It is pounding highs. That thing moved from 16 now, 2 points. I actually was in a meeting. Did you guys get that off the BZ Squawk? Tell me you guys got that off the BZ Squawk.
Well, I mean, we got it to the viewers off the Squawk, but didn't get the long trade. I mean, ultimately, I'd rather have the long than anything else. It's through 16. It's up 15%. Just going to go through a few notes here for anybody. It's only a 3.5% short float on LightSpeed, so I actually thought it might be bigger than that. And here we go. There's the daily chart. Look at the gap fill. This just broke out these highs from the middle of the year, and it's a sizable, like a $4 gap, 16 to 20. Okay, technically the support's down here at $18. Kind of blue skies. And remember, this is they got Morgan. It doesn't really matter who it is, but Morgan Stanley to look into options for being sold. So they're going to seek out I guess, some interested parties there for LightSpeed. What an unbelievable move, because, and we've talked about this before, Ryan, whether or not you actually get the news in your ear for the first move, there's always that continuation play on these names. And typically, I like it off of a VWAP, or if they just try to sell it right back into the original breakout price. Those are the two lowest hanging fruits. In this particular case, it just kind of hung around $15 even. Like the breakout was at 14 even, kind of hung around over under 15, never more than 10, 15 cents underneath, and then breaks right to 16. Sometimes it's just an even dollar kind of thing, and that's what it was here on LightSpeed.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the one thing that you just said there about VWAP, I love when these plays pop and then come back into VWAP. That often gives you an opportunity to reload that. One more thing, some of these plays, you can actually play both sides of this, right? We have a couple of people that play these pops to the upside, immediately reverse when the stock feels like it's running into some resistance or getting a little heavy, play it to the downside and then reload again, especially if that comes into VWAP. So with you there on LightSpeed, this is a pretty crazy move going on.
Yeah, so maybe just, so you talked about it was Okta, what you were involved in this morning. So look, I know there was a few people in our chat, actually more than a few. Like this was the one that we had a few people in the pre-market that were trading this. We certainly had some people at the open. I don't know if it was actually even covered on the midday, because by that point, like in our midday, like sometimes Shreve will go into these names, but by that point it was underneath VWAP and kind of trending back down. So most of the good stuff would have been early. But my question to you is this. I know you look at these names, and when I see what happens right about it, 8 o'clock, when some other people start to come in there, and 8:30 we kind of come on there, you probably see where I'm getting at. Like it already did a dip, and then the higher low trend starts coming back in there an hour before the market opens. Now, you can look at that level where it ends up supporting, and I don't know if you traded off of that. You can let us know if you did. But do you ever just trade these in the pre-market when it starts that upward trend again? Because I can't tell you how many times we look back at these, and your best entry was probably to get it between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, and sometimes you don't do any better than that. Is that part of the repertoire? I know for a lot of our viewers it is.
Yeah, I'll be honest. When I started doing some of this day trading, I started by buying stuff in the pre-market. I tell you, you get slapped enough in some of the extended sessions where the volume isn't what you're used to, it'll change your opinion on there. A lot of the times what I'll do with some of these stocks is I'll actually wait and see what that opening print does. So today on Octo, just as an example, we had that opening print. We immediately pushed over one of the pre-market highs that we kind of turned around at. So there was a scalp here. We kind of came off of VWAP. I played a very, very small one right out of the open. And then as soon as it got heavy, just kind of take that one off. Now, the pull that it had down here, this basically pulled right to where it was consolidating in the pre-market before it started to cross that VWAP. We had another, I didn't take this one because I was actually waiting for the VWAP reclaim, which I got twice going on there. But we actually had a gentleman that called this live in the chat this morning saying, hey, this is right back into where it was consolidating pre-market. I think you can try it right here. And then lo and behold, we got that huge volume candle, immediately rewarded him for that. So I wasn't in that one, but I agree. This level right in here, especially if this lines up with pre-market, absolutely. We got that. We actually, when we came back in, you can see the second time here, although we didn't get a pop and a trade back up, you can see it actually took a while for us to take this level out, right? We consolidated around this level before we finally broke down. Once that happened, this thing was off my radar for the rest of the day.
Bang. All right. Thank you, Ryan. Just quickly over here, Ramin. Just is that Ramin over there? Let's just go quickly. Just hot dog cannons right now. As we talk about trades, we put some trades on as well as we just go short Amazon right there. Fire off a quick 20-cent scalp out of half. We'll just wait to see what winds up happening. Oh boy, this morning, Ryan, we talk about, big trades abound on the show. Big trades from the traders on the floor today. We actually don't have one trader negative on a prop floor. That's pretty unique. Yeah, not too bad, right? First time I've actually ever seen that, I think. But right here, we had this Nvidia break. I mean, I don't know if you play, you sort of talked a little bit there about some early breaks on some of the lesser volume stocks. I'm with you, man. I used to try to play these breaks in the pre-market, but I don't like that volume game that you mentioned there. It's a very, very dangerous one when the vacuums come through. What do you think about plays like this? Are you ever on it? Like when you start to come in, you break yesterday's high. We know we like Nvidia. The same thing happens in Tesla, where you get huge moves right off the first 5 or 10 minutes. Is that something that you like to look for? Or are you more of a trader that settles down, gives the first 5, 10 minutes, see the ranges, so on and so forth? There is no wrong answer.
Yeah, so you're right on there being no wrong answer, because this will actually change from day to day. I would say in most cases, yeah, I'm trying to wait maybe 10, even 15 minutes to kind of let some of these head fakes shake themselves out. But to your point, when there is a setup that's too good, there is no wrong answer, and you can absolutely take that. This is exactly what we got here in Nvidia. The after hours highs actually lined up pretty good. Well, I don't think it was exact, but it lined up pretty good with the intraday high from yesterday. Intraday highs, intraday lows from the day before, definitely a metric you should pay attention to, or a level, excuse me, that you should pay attention to while you're day trading. We've seen a lot of those get taken out. They induce a pop. Sometimes you can just trade that pop, right? And especially on a stock like Nvidia, you may get 25, 50 cents out of a very quick level pop. That's pretty decent if you're scalping. We all can't be Sean and hit 1 to 4 point moves all the time. But I mean, yeah, I'll do that. The other thing here that I really liked about this one is that, as you'll see, after we got that break, this is what, to me, I hesitate to use the word easy, because I really don't want to come off that this job is easy. It isn't. But there are some things that when they happen, they just make for a better setup. So you got this break here on Nvidia. You got a nice little push right out of the open. And look at the clean back test you got on the VWAP. This actually set up your second trade. The second was better than the first in this case. You could have ridden this up multiple. You could have been a Sean trade right here, right? Multiple points to the upside before it finally came back in and then snapped VWAP. Did it reclaim it yet? No, we're still under it. Watch for us to reclaim. You might get another one here before the close.
Mr. Faloona, you know me better than I know myself. Come over to my screen right here. Look at this reload. We reloaded that second time well. So there it is right there. So we're trying to be real. There it is right there. There's the reload, and there's the banger upside. So hey man, I do appreciate the call out there. And we try our best as hosts, as traders, to not only give good trades, but just the opportunity. Whether or not it works out, we've been in these chairs many hours, many years, and just able to see things and try to give it over to the viewers. Like just right now, I don't think we got anything going, but another shout out on the squawk. I don't know, some play happening right now. So I did want to give Benzinga Pro, of course, credit for the LightSpeed, because we did hear that and we did bring that to our traders. But come over to the screen quickly. LightSpeed is fading off right now. And sometimes we say on here, when in doubt, zoom out a little bit, and right into there, you come right back in to that $16 level, where we've kind of seen that as being a top. You also wicked into past support there back December of 23. So we'll wait to see if Lightspeed can get going. Mr. Faloona, have you seen China names lately? I mean, we talked about Alibaba yesterday. I thought they were a fade. China stimulus, that's nice. Thank you, government, for trying one more time to boost this. But there's still problems underneath there. There's the housing market. There's consumer confidence. I thought yesterday when we had Brian Shannon on the recap show, which he comes on all the time, as you do as well on Fridays, I like the fade on FXI. Is there a play in China right now that maybe you're looking at? Is there anything setting up for you on any of these plays with regards to some of the Chinese names?
So normally I don't trade Chinese names, but your thesis here is exactly right. So there's definitely problems under the hood there in China. It's great that the government's trying to rescue everybody. You tell me if you've ever come across a government that's been successful in rescuing everybody. I don't think I've seen it. For me, on the China names, while I generally don't trade them, I'm more in the camp of fade there, right? I think a lot of these probably have some more downside. I also think that the pump that we got yesterday, I'm not actually afraid to call it that. It did kind of seem like a one-day wonder. I wouldn't be shocked if some of these names kind of turned around. Now, the name that I like the most, the China name that I've traded the most recently here is going to be Pinduoduo. It's the ticker PDD. The last move down here was outstanding. I'm really still kind of ticked at myself for not taking that. We had a guy in our chat that literally called it live. I do think that China names can roll over again here, but But before that happens, let's actually watch PDD here. Let me put on some of these moving averages here for you real quick. We are in this gap, and we have some pretty clear targets above. So I actually would not be shocked if, for example, on PDD, we trade up to 119 and change, test that 50-day average, and then get rejected. Or maybe we even kind of take that out and then go test the 200-day. That's consolidating right where the 100-day is, and both of those are actually below the gap fill. So I wouldn't be shocked if this has a little bit, if PDD, let me be specific, if PDD has a little bit more upside. Overall, though, bearish on China, don't like owning the names. They can do whatever they want. Yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at on those.
I'm not going to lie here, Ryan. PDD specifically, I said for the last 2 days, I've been saying I kind of like that area of resistance. I think it's a fade at those prices. I think, because I think it's, I agree. I think it's a fade the move kind of deal. I just think, like, from a fundamental standpoint, like, BABA has been languishing for a longer time, and it's got that rounded bottom. It's starting to break out, whereas PDD got smoked essentially because the government took aim. It's Shein and all those bad boys, and it's not a good look. And you saw what happened on that gap fill. I feel like if it tries to fill in the gap, it'll get smacked down one more time. But I'm going to go back to Octo, but I'm going to talk about LSPD just for a quick little second, because LightSpeed, and shout out to you guys over there at Benzinga. Like, obviously, this was just a fantastic long opportunity once you get it in the ear. It's not often that the continuation is just as good as the initial spike on the news, and it gave you like $1, and then the continuation if you just took it on the news. But since the secondary break, I'm just going to walk you through here, and then I'm going to go back to Octo. Since the secondary break, there's a break of the high, and then there's the trend line. I like these reversals here. It ended up giving a bit of reversal, although it's not following through to VWAP, so I'm going to get out if it breaks 85. When you look at these parabolic movers or small cappers like that Octo, the same thing happened earlier today. Look at the higher lows on it. And I don't know if you were in it at this particular point, but see, like, there's a clear trend line since the open. And then when it broke that trend line, look at the candle down. Now, is that a spot? Is this something that you look at? You're holding on to the last 10% or 20% for the dream, and then you throw a stop on these trails? I like to use these for either trailing out of positions or just entering into reversion shorts. What's your thoughts on trend lines? Because Octo really observed this. Like, it's on a dime. This thing dropped 10% on the first candle when it broke that trend.
Yeah, okay, so that's actually really awesome. On my Octo chart, I actually didn't have a trend line on it, although I was kind of watching that level. Just from like a conceptual thought process here, first of all, I'm never holding for that last little 10%, right? When it comes to a day trade, like, one of my big things is when you're talking about exiting, dude, sell into strength. If you have a move that is moving up and you have a day trade on, just sell into the strength. How many times have you guys felt really good about being able to top tick something on a move or bottom pick something when it hits a support? Maybe you get it if it comes into VWAP and you buy right at the VWAP price and you get filled there and it bounces right away. But for most of the time, this doesn't happen. So conceptually, if I've got a winning trade on my hands and I see that there's upside momentum, if we get anywhere close to a resistance level, I'm using that as an opportunity to sell into strength. Get me out of my position. If it sets up again, if I need to rebuy it again, I'll assess that down the road. But don't let it pull on me. This candle that you're referring to here, let me turn these off again, make this chart a little bit easier to see. This candle, you'll hear me refer to this as a pull or a knife even, right? Because the price is literally knifing back down. This entire action here, this right here, right in here, right in here, all of this stuff is what I'm trying to avoid. This is what kills day trades. If you're only looking for 10, 15 cents or a little bit, and you get a big move like this that happens in a flash, this is a killer for your trade. I don't even want to be in there. So the trend line that you drew, I think what you did is you basically took one from like right here, right? Yeah, that looks about what you had on the chart here. That's actually pretty sweet. Anything that can help you identify this, stay out of this, right? Stay out of this. You want to be using a flush like this to add, not to get out of one of your positions.
There you go. And look, I think it's a great tool to have in there, I think, just to have an idea, because we call them here quadunks. And you can actually go to urbandictionary.com. TraderTv.live has quadunk in there, and it's our term for little candles like that. Some people like to call it a little something else. that is not safe language, but whatever it is, if you're scalping, you can't have one of those, because if you're scalping 15, 20 cent moves, you just can't have a death candle of 50 cents on a $4 name. Like, it just, you can't have, otherwise there's just no trade for you. It's one thing if it's going to GameStop or, I don't know, like insert meme stock that was 100%, but if it's not that kind of a move, you can't have that kind of a loss. Ryan, thank you so much for being on. Any final thoughts before we get you out of here? You know, good luck to your Blackhawks, obviously, as I, with a little bit of chagrin, I suppose I say that. But no, any final thoughts before we get you out?
Well, first of all, my Blackhawks are probably not going to be any type of threat to your Maple Leafs this year. I'm just happy they're on the come up. We do have a preseason game against the Red Wings tonight. So I'm pretty stoked about that. As far as the market goes here, my closing thoughts on the market. We did pop to new highs. This was what, the 19th? So last Thursday, we popped to some new all-time highs. We're really kind of holding right around that level. Today, we actually looked like maybe we would roll over and maybe engulf this candle from yesterday, although at this point in the afternoon, I'm not sure that that's going to happen.
Engulfing candle.
I'm just kind of waiting here, right? Do we break down from this level? Do we really break out and go for another run to the upside on the broader market? I don't have any bets placed for that. The only thing that I'm in right now is Google short. Those are short-dated contracts that expire on Friday. I'm hoping it just kind of quadunk, is that the term? I'm hoping it just reverses and falls off. What I'm really looking for here is, what is the next clear direction on the SPY? Because as of today, I'm not sure what that is.
All right, fair enough. They're a bit of a topping tail candle on Alphabet. It just lost the 50-period moving average. I think before we get you out, Sean's got something he wants to show you.
I don't want to. I'm just saying these are the Leafs. We're just saying bye-bye to Ryan. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us one more time. Today we'll look forward to more content, and make sure everybody checks out the Benzinga Pro platform and that handsome gentleman right in the middle of your screen. Thank you, Ryan. Good luck with the trades. Good luck with that Google quadunking action, my friend.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your week.
No problem.
Appreciate it, Ryan.
Right.
Look, take a shot at Alphabet.
Faloona, everybody.
You know, you juxtapose, we've been talking about this with the event still going on. We've been talking about this all the time with all of these Mag 7 names. Meta breaking out in a monster way, right? And Alphabet, I love Alphabet, but not as much. You know, it can't get above the 50 period. Now, I think this provides an opportunity. And look, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't happen. Where's my 200? There you go. So I'm just zooming out so you can see the 200 period kind of fill in there. Like, you are, the way I like to see it, that August 5th bottom has now double bottomed. So yeah, downward trend, but double bottom there, regain of the 200 period, fail the 50, but consolidate. Next step, break back out the 50 period moving average and join the party into the upside. Everyone has been so negative on Alphabet because the perception that they're losing so much in the AI race. But I would not leave them for dead. I'll just leave it at that. I'd be much more interested in this breaking out back above the 50 period moving average or maybe bouncing off the 200 than anything else. Because right now, just like Apple, topping tail candle and reversal here on Alphabet. But you know, I'm looking for this to break the 50 and be a buying opportunity. It just hasn't really happened yet.
All right, buying opportunity right now, but it's a selling opportunity. It's a trading opportunity. I think the risk reward here on Nvidia is screaming must take. This right here, 123.60. I mean, you're going to get... Everyone all right? All right. Yeah, so I just think that right now, we're short right here at 123.50. I think it's 10 cents worth of risk. Come on. I think this is worth it right now. Let's just wait to see where we go. We're underneath VWAP. I mean, I'm not just taking it because the risk to reward. We're taking it because we think we can make some money right now. So 20,200. If we're right, there goes the market to the downside. We were actually waiting for, oh no, it's a good thing it's never a good thing we got rid of Ryan Faloona, but right there, nice 10-cent move to the downside, and good thing we're able to show you some of these trades. So here it goes. That's what we're talking about. It's already 1-to-1. I mean, you know what, let's just get out another piece. What the? Why not? Could still go back up against us. I don't know. We've seen Nvidia when it wants to go. It's not in meme crazy mode right now. It could get to that once we take out that high, which is why we are getting out of it if we break above that 60 level. So right there, we'll take out a small piece, 20% down there for a dime. We just wanted to go 1-to-1. We'll see if we can extend it out. I mean, like 123, it tried to break it there and got bought right back up immediately. Not even big shares, but it tried. Since then, now we're just hovering around the 50 period. That 200 period is right here at 123.33. So I don't expect this to be a big trade. I just think it might be worth it on the risk to reward side of things. So we'll try it, try to do something here in the in the power hour. So we'll give that a go right now. Rivian, honestly, man, we still have about a quarter of this left. We've talked about this, but we just didn't get our full load there. So, we've been sort of lazy with it. I think we could bid 11 right now. Let's just put that bid out there. I mean, this could come in right now. Let's bid 11.08 randomly there. We'll see if we can get out. That's that bottom 11.08. If it comes in, we'll take it. If not, fine. You win. Rivian, we should have got you out. Well, hold on. Let's not. We win, Rivian, but at the end of the day,
it loses.
Which is something that is right there. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I got that Boeing news, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, what is that?
So while we're talking to Ryan, and the thing is, obviously, we're doing an interview. We're listening to Ryan in our ear, and we heard that there was something going on with Boeing. It just broke the low of the day here. The FAA tells Boeing it will not let them boost 737 MAX production until they make broad improvements. And then warning this could impact their profitability. Well, that's not good. So it's breaking the low of the day as we speak. There was actually a bit of it tested the bottom on that news and then regained 153 and now breaking lower. So this bottom test, I'm going to try this consolidation level here, 152.5. Just give it a tight stop in here to about 65 on Boeing. Now, obviously, you can see Boeing, it's always tricky at lows. There is the daily bottom just underneath here. That's why a tight stop. Boeing has been trending down for a very long time. I think we can all see that. And now on the 15-minute, it was already weak today. It's essentially breaking a bit of a double bottom here, just trying to get in on that 50 level. So not good news. The FAA coming at Boeing one more time. The hits keep coming for Boeing, down 2%. Like they were already bleeding today. And then obviously a little bit more bad news here for Boeing. I'm not happy. It's one of those things where, okay, I'd feel better if I had a short on it today because I still own these in my long-term account. Thankfully, I haven't added to Boeing shares because it's just been going down. LightSpeed, still trying to find VWAP on LSPD. If I get into Boeing, I'll let you guys know. I'm not really chasing that one down. Like I said, I want it to be a tight stop. But now that we're getting close into VWAP on LightSpeed, remember, in this particular case, I'm out in front of VWAP. They're looking at exploring alternatives in terms of possibly getting bought here, right? So anytime you do that and you have any short float or there might be some interest in the company, understand that it can put a floor on the stock. And when these pull back into VWAP, I'll usually look for longs if there was a definite buyer. I feel like the 200 period is going to be under it as well. So it's in a range where I think it could go sideways for sure. So I'm on the bid here out in front of 40. But now that I look at this, I'm going to tighten up the trail because I don't want it bouncing here and then I lose the top. So I'm looking for 40s in front of VWAP. We're about to get it. And then I just heard PayPal's popping to the upside as well. So load, PayPal. Oh, no, that's not a big, never mind. No, I just heard them say PayPal was popping and it dipped off the bottom here, but not that big of a move.
You guys like 2-to-1 winners? I mean, there it is right there. That was a good idea to go short on Nvidia. We're short at 123.50. We just got filled at 123.31. That's 20 cents for 10 cents worth of risk. So live right there on the show. I mean, if that's not worth the price of subscription, then I don't know what is. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe immediately. The only thing I have is this one. I think I should have a better one than that, but hit it right there, hit the like and the subscribe, become a member. It's not, we'll give you these ideas, right? I mean, it's going to be up to everybody to trade them their own way, their own style. But at the end of the day, I mean, that was pretty simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Like I keep saying here, I mean, I'm just a normal dude sitting here trading and giving you guys the trades that I'm putting on as well. And that was a good one. We're out of half only. So right now we roll with, what I was with client money. We roll with the market's money here, and we are now home free. Let's wait to see what winds up happening. That goes down into the 20s. I was actually, did it go down that low? I actually just went and got some more water there. 123.20, yeah, so we should have had a bid down there. We did not, we are in the teens. So we tried to go every 10 cents. That was actually, Neil, I was wrong. That was another 3-to-1 winner if you did have that. So we'll wait to see now. We did miss it. We could take another bid here at 38s if we can get that. And let's put a bid back down low again. 23 this time. Shout out to the greatest basketball player of all time there in Michael Jordan. Okay, that's still Nvidia. We did not just get that fill. I thought we did. Oh no, we only went down to 39. We are bidding, of course, 38, as we just said. With watch out, man, our stop can get executed above VWAP. So if that does come in, and that is what trading is all about, right? Is taking risk on and off. So okay, so right here, quick. There we go. So Nvidia, Meta. Trade too much of Nvidia, I guess. Making the move down right now, right into VWAP. So we did pretty good by getting out there. I feel like at the time, it does barcode up there at 576. That was definitely a shorting opportunity. Very risky to trade during Meta Connect. But for me, again, it was just the same thing. Like, we don't necessarily, when we trade, I don't necessarily talk about risk to reward. I know I've done it now, and I'm going to do it again here. But it's just the opportunity, and then you got to look to see, where is my out, things like that. I still liked VWAP. I still liked the 50 period despite this happening. We had a bottom there. It gave it to us. So I was just happy to say, hey, worst case scenario, we get stopped out here. We actually got stopped out for 50 cents the first time. Then we just bought it right back. And at the end of the day, we put that in our pocket, and it was a good one. So that was Meta. Again, like the trade, like the stock, and we'll just continue to watch it. It's a no-fly zone for me right now. I guess it's over, the Meta Connect conference.
Still happening.
Still happening. So that's not...
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, like to me, I don't really want to trade. We trade on catalysts. I mean, that's what the sticky note is. But at the end of the day, it has to be there for us, right? And I mean, I don't really know why I would go long or short right now on Meta. So I'm going to hold that and just wait to see. Once it's over, if we get some levels, fine. But for me right now, we're just chilling with Nvidia and we're chilling with Rivian and not much else. It's 321. If there are any, what's up, Ozan? Make SPY great again. Make SPY 569 again. Well, we can have a quick look at the SPY. I mean, I haven't really looked. So I have to, hand up here. You guys know I look at the NASDAQ a heck of a lot more. And I actually had a TQQ break right here. If we did break, I wanted to go long on the NASDAQ. We did not break, so moot point right now. But the SPY 569, yeah. I mean, I don't know how I could make that happen for you there, Ozan, but if I could, I would love to do that. Right now, SPY needs to make its way back down. I think you're right. I would rather be short than anything else. You can see I'm short Nvidia, I'm short Rivian, but at the end of the day, that looks like a decent spot for you there, Ozan. I like the short underneath VWAP, underneath the 50-period moving average, and underneath the 200. I think you got a good spot there. Short 570 on the SPY. Let's go, man. That is a props trade. I think you might have something right there. So good luck on that one, Ozan, as it looks like the SPY hopefully comes to the downside. I got stamp and approval on that trade. You might have had one there, Ozan. I don't know if that's something you want to hold on to, but that could be good. The only caveat of all of this is the market's not really doing it.
It's not.
So
it's really not.
You could get the push down. I don't know, but for right now, I like the setup. I'd say I'd prefer the short rather than the long, but who knows at the end of the day.
At least in that particular case, the NASDAQ is stronger than the ES. So in a non-moving market, favor, in a general sense, favor short NASDAQ, and then long NASDAQ and then short the SPY. Just very quickly, I got out of the LightSpeed, but there was a great question in the chat that I wanted to get to. So I'm not in any positions.
Got more Nvidia.
So I was able to get that 15. It just bounced right here off of 1540, and we're able to get that one out in front of VWAP there. But it was Raheel saying, can you go over the signals you're watching again and how you prepare for the next day? For example, if the market hits an all-time high today, would you expect a slowdown? So I never really get into the whole, we hit a high, therefore... It's more along the lines of, are we at key price levels? I might get, when I look at the futures, I'll look at something like this on the NASDAQ and say, okay, well, topping tail, at least for now, on the NASDAQ above this 20, call it 2020 20,225. It's just easier to say it that way, right? So if I look at that topping tail, then if I see us get into resistance, then I want to look at weak stocks following the NASDAQ for resistance levels at that point. So something like a Google, which at least currently is a relatively weak name, if we're able to retest that kind of topping tail wick on Alphabet and Alphabet gets to resistance, I like the short. That's how I kind of use levels. As a matter of fact, Alphabet looks pretty nasty if it loses one.
We just got long into Dell, by the way.
161.5 here. This is an interesting support on Google's right at a support level. I don't like this alongside, so I'm not going to take it.
As Neil was talking there, I didn't want to say too much, but look at that, man. We just did it. Let's go Hot Dog Cannon again. We got that short, more short there on Nvidia. 52s. We just cleaned that out. 42s, 38s. We actually get as a fill. So that was pretty huge right there. Just wanted to let Neil finish there. Look, 120 right now, 07 is where we're long. I hate being short Nvidia, long Dell. That doesn't make the greatest amount of sense in the context of what this market has been known to do when tech names start to fly. So I am going to start piecing a little bit of this out. If we can get something out at quarters, we'll do that for Dell. Our Nvidia trade, we did empty the clip a little bit. I'm going to empty it some more right now at 40 if we can. Bang, there it is one more time. Props it up. You know, we talked about this yesterday. We didn't have a losing trade from noon on yesterday. And I don't know, we shorted Nvidia right here. That was past noon. But right now, let's see if we can keep the good times rolling right now in the market and just keep on, like I said, looking at what we're looking at and keeping with the program right now. And that is short Nvidia because we're here. And again, now we're definitely playing with house money as that comes back in. We've taken a lot out there. We are bidding also mid 30s and then low 20s to see if we can get that. If Dell wants to go, great. I feel like we've done a really good job explaining to you why we're in this Dell trade. It's a break of 120 right there. I like the stock. I like the chance to see what we're going to do here with DELL, Dell. So we're in the money 5 cents on this trade. We could take some out if we're nervous about it. Nvidia's made its move back upside as well. So yeah, man, lots happening right now in the market. Not, I guess, in these individual names. And what I mean by lots is it's like 10 pennies back and forth right now. So it's not super exciting. But you know what? We're going to be here and continue to trade some of these names. There goes Dell up to 120. So we can have 13 cents right now. I might, instead of, I'm trying to see what Rivian is doing. Not that really matters. No. Right now, is something going on with Palantir?
No, you said Dell and it reminded me of Palantir. Was Palantir breaking that high? But it's not moving either, okay. So unfortunately. Just very quickly, Boeing broke that low, and I never got in when it broke the low. We tried to grab it in here at in front of 152.5. It's since made another breakdown on volume. If you can see right there, about 152 1/3. That little wick, so consolidated for a bit, then broke down. A little bit of a sideways move here, so I'm short in the teens and giving it to that local high on Boeing. So the FAA taking aim at them, saying basically you can't ramp up 737 MAX production until you fix a bunch of stuff that you're clearly doing wrong. That's why we're looking Boeing to the short side. Zion Lala, thoughts on Micron's earnings? I mean, I don't have thoughts as to how they're going to do. I'm not going to pretend to be able to predict that. Leave that for analysts. However, it's at the point that I think the risk is for anybody that would be short down here. It's breaking a trend line, right? So if you short, whatever. Let me draw the trend. It's already broken this here, right? So that already happened and it failed that move. But what's interesting is when you leave it in, then bounces back off of it, double bottomed, broke out, and now wants the 50 period. So it's in a consolidative phase when it's down like 60-something% from the highs. And all you need is like a little bit of good news here, and I think you can do that. I think we're expecting like 9.5%. If you do that, you're pretty much at the 200 period moving average. It's funny how these things work out. I feel like there's always gravity. If you have the expected move out there, sometimes look at where the stock is a couple of days before, find a key or support resistance level, and like to this 50 period, so a 200 period moving average is that 105. It's almost like it just wants to get to 95 so it can be 10% away from that level. I've seen that so many times going into earnings, and when you really think about it, if you had that idea, I'm just spitballing here because we're live. If you had that notion, you know what the options market is pricing in 10% for a while, right? So if you had that eyeballed you think that 95 is going to be a target by the day of the earnings, and you have this opportunity as it's barcoding here off of 86, 87, maybe make a little bit of a trade. The next time I see something set up like that, worth a look there on Micron. But yeah, I'm favoring the long side on Micron, but I'm not predicting whether they're going to beat on EPS, and I don't know what the guidance is going to be like. I just think the risk is it's a better opportunity for the longs based on the way it's trading. That's all.
Yeah, I still like Micron, for the long run, but we'll have to wait to see. Like Neil said, I don't think either one of us has our finger on the pulse of the DRAM business.
Not even close.
But okay, so right there, I just want to say Dell comes up to 20. We take a piece out. We had talked about that. It's 13 cents. I'm getting out if it breaks the 50-period moving average, which would be 20 cents back to the downside. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, Dell. But we did take a piece out hoping for that runner. Nvidia's just fallen right back in. I do have a bid at 34, but I'm going to put a bid right here at 37 and take that out. Now cancel my 34. Good job there. We do get that one out. Now let's put a bid down at 26 and then just keep on going, man. Props it up for this short on Nvidia. Reloaded, taken, fired, man. We point the barrel right at Nvidia, take it to the downside. There you go again, another 3-to-1 winner for you on Nvidia. Congratulations, man. We got, and there it goes. Let's go. Oh my! Give me that 26. That nut right now. Give me that 126. Can we 123, 26, 27s? Can we hear a 26? And yes, we can get it right there. Props that up. Nice little out there for Nvidia at 26s right there. So good job right there. Hearing in my ear. I mean, I cannot, honestly, guys, I cannot say enough. Sometimes you don't get to see everything here, but that was a good trade there on Nvidia. Let's take a little bit of a break right there. Good trading on that. I just heard AstraZeneca approved or something, not really doing much.
No.
Okay, there's the move down for AstraZeneca. We will get more on that. Brendan's over there. I don't think he was.
Well, the problem is that the volume spike was non-existent on AstraZeneca. Right. Okay. So like a small story. And this is just a hint for everybody out there. If you hear news, one of the first things I look at is A, is it moving? B, now it's starting to go. Wow, delayed reaction on AstraZeneca is now it seems to want to break out. Okay, take out that top or pull back into VWAP. If you look at the delayed move there on AstraZeneca, I hope they'll say it again because, again, I was kind of listening to Sean when they said that story, so I didn't quite catch all of it. That's sort of the problem with sitting there talking or listening to somebody else. I wanted to hold above this high on AZN. What just happened to my weird flash on my screen there. Every now and then it just does that.
That's a software improvement.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, so look, it's trying to hold above the highs. I'm either looking pull back into VWAP on AZN here, or the buyers holding above the breakup price. I know it broke 55, but trust me when I tell you, it got like 10 cents up, and this sucker just did not want to hold any bids up there. Like the offer goes up to 65, but there's no buyers when it gets there. So I just came in on the dip buy. We'll give it to the local bottom. It was at 77.27 is the local low. It's kind of a random number, but that's what that bottom is. So I'm buying in front of VWAP and then giving it to 77.27 here on AZN. Boeing is trying to break 152. There was something else I was going to get to, and then the AstraZeneca thing happened. It'll come to me. It was the early look on the imbalances. It was NU again.
Oh, was it MU?
No, NU.
Oh, NU.
We don't see I feel like it's there every day for like 1 million or 2 million shares, but the early look's just them and Verizon, 1.9 million there, Verizon 1.5. GM's 1.4 million, despite the fact that these all got their butts kicked today. The entire sector. Like, it wasn't just Rivian that had a bad day today, just to throw that out there. Ford kind of stunk, and GM kind of stunk as well. So not a great look there for them. So I'm trying to get back into this high on AZN. If it can take out the top, maybe there'll be an opportunity to add on AstraZeneca. Just some news, a bit of a volume spike here, just trying to play it off the low.
Quickly, we are out of Dell here as we got that top tick. We get out of a third of the trade that we lose on the last 2/3. So we owe the market a matcha latte. All right, more importantly, though, I want to bring up something that's pretty important to us. Firefly Neuroscience is revolutionizing brain health by making its FDA-cleared brain network analytics technology available to medical professionals in support of providing better outcomes for patients with brain health disorders and illnesses like depression, dementia, anxiety, concussion, and ADHD. The company's proprietary technology is built on extensive research and the world's largest standardized database of over 17,000 patients across 12 disorders, including clinically normal people. Join us at Firefly Neuroscience, traded on NASDAQ under symbol AIFF, and be a part of the transformation to improving the lives of people suffering from brain health, illnesses, and disorders. Firefly Neuroscience, igniting hope for patients. So again, thank you to Firefly for bringing those things to our attention. Okay, so just as a side note here, look, man, we had Dell as a side piece today. There's no doubt about that, but they failed us. It's Nvidia, man, is our main chick, and there it goes. Yeah, you're damn right about that one. Nvidia, nice move to the downside. We just took that 25s right there. So Neil, in what our last fill was an 8 cent worth of risk. We will then take 28 cents down to the downside and see if we can't keep the party rolling right now with shorts only. We are underneath view up. We are underneath. Let's just see if we get a flush. Do I think we are going to get a dramatic flush? No. I do not. But if we do, then I think we're short the right name. We're short Nvidia. Let's see if it comes down. We are also short right now. We're at 08 right now for Rivian. You always want to think that this might break 11 here today. Let's roll, baby. Let's go, Rivian. This is the kind of day we're having. Let's just go with house money one more time and see if Rivian will take down $11. Let's have some fun today with RIVN. We already top ticked it. Now, can we bottom tick it as well, Neil?
Broke.
It might have broke 98, 99. We have the low of the day as being 98. So if it gets back there again, can we go? Ryan Faloona was like, yeah, man, you can never get top ticks. Okay. What's up, Ryan? There it is right there. We could also get bottom tick at one point here today. Let's see if we can do that. I know you got out. I think you got out somewhere around 11 and change.
Yeah, well, it was
down there.
No, it was 11.10 because I trailed out. Just quickly on Rivian, I want to get to the super chat, and there's been a lot of questions about CrowdStrike that we've been ignoring. CrowdStrike's not having a very good day today. I'm not happy about it. No, I did get out right in here. It was right before we ended the show. It bounced off 11.05, and then I got out at 11.10. I did try. The reason I know it broke 11 is because I was short at 11. This is kind of lame. I was short at 11.04, and it broke out at 11.05, and I tried it at VWAP, and now it's starting to come back in. But I do, before I get to the super chat, apologies for not actually. It happens. I didn't actually read the news on AstraZeneca.
Oops.
That's my bad. I'm like, there's news on that. Yeah, we'll get in off VWAP there. But the FDA approved drug I'm not going to try to pronounce for locally advanced, unrestrictable stage 3 non-small cellular cancer. I recommended yada recommended dose. So yeah, so phase. Stage. Look, it's an approval
like
from the FDA.
Still not reading the
goodness.
The release.
I'm not good with these like medical terms and trying to do them live roll them off the tongue. But the other thing I should have done is go to the higher time frame. Here, so we did buy it off VWAP, and then the second I zoomed out, I looked back at the 15-minute chart, and now you're going to see why I take profit at the highs. Like go back 2 days, resistance right here at 77.5. It's trying to break it now. And then you go back a little bit further and you had support at 77.5 with a big gap. So this is a trouble zone, I think, for AstraZeneca. And now that it's trying to chew through it, I like the fact that it's holding on the daily, but for the day trade portion, it needs to clear this out. I got some out when it retested that high, and now we're looking for the break of the high of the day. If it breaks the high of the day, the trail goes into the former high at 77.55 on AZN. And now quickly going to jump over to the super chat thing, get a CrowdStrike. David, thoughts on CEG? This has been a popular one the last couple of days. Yes, I've seen a few people asking about like energy names in general, or a lot of names here, but Constellation Energy we'll get to. Appreciate the super chat. Just going to hit the like there. Your Canadian accents are hilarious. We get that a lot.
What
is the spunky lady accent? What is the spunky lady accent?
About that.
Boston. So I don't know if you're referring to Adara. She does not have a Boston accent. If that's who you're referring to, definitely not. She's from Winnipeg. So I don't know if there's a distinct accent. She has. I don't notice our Canadian accents, but I've been told we got them. Appreciate the super chat in there. We do get that a lot. We're from Toronto, so what do you expect? Or the GTA, so we're going to sound like Canadians. That's just part of it.
Canadian accents.
That's how, don't you know? I don't know. See, that's, no, that's not even how they sound, how we sound. CrowdStrike, and there's been a lot.
CEG, did you go over that?
Oh, yeah, well, CEG and CrowdStrike, oh, there we go. So CEG, it's only 2% short, but I think the story, and the last time we talked about this, I know we showed this exact same chart, which is a weekly chart here on CEG, breaking out in a big way. I'm usually, when we talk about support and resistance, I don't have any support or resistance levels to give you on CEG because it is now a blue sky setup. Sometimes what I would look at is, so this is a clean $200 level to the high is like 35 bucks. So when it breaks that out, just think $35 higher. That's a lot of just easy math, right? So breakout level 35 to the prior high, 35 up goes to 270 on CG. Well, the problem with that is it already did that move. So it's already given you the move to that 270, like there it is, and it just kind of pulls back. So I think at this point, like you look at this 250 level, kind of like what Tesla's doing with 250. You've got a support level at 250. You have a kind of like it's a local high at 270, which is kind of a weird mathematical one as well. And until it breaks that, I think you're just sort of trading the consolidation range. So there's your consolidation range. 250 looks pretty darn good for CEG. And then lastly, CrowdStrike, because we keep getting questions about them. Yeah, it's not all roses in the market. I mean, CrowdStrike has made a bit of a, it's been a bit of a right-hand turn the last couple of days since failing the $300 level. It's not overly concerning, except for the fact that if you were trading this after the breach, $300 is exactly, like the initial bounce, $300 is where this thing failed, and now it's failing 300 again. The good news is higher lows since it made the most recent bottom above the 50 period and all that good stuff. So, but I think it might be headed back down for 270 because that $300 has been a brick wall that CrowdStrike can't seem to get through, unfortunately. So those are the random thoughts. Thank you guys for the super chat.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. CG, I mean, that's just a rocket ship. So it's hard to go over levels on stocks that are like that have already made the breakout. Like it's easy to go over Alibaba when we do because it's rounding off the bottom and it's in the midst of a break. But when something is blue sky has been going up for weeks, you just kind of a trend join. Like join the trend on support levels if you can.
Yeah, we liked all those plays there. All right, so in like another bonehead move, I guess. We should have been bidding Nvidia. Like Nvidia just cracked again down there into this exact same level that we've already bounced off of. We've seen this happen now 4 times. So, you know, once fool me, something like that, fool you, fool everybody. 123.20, we need to have a bid there. So we're now there right now. Let's just hope that we're able to make a successful trade here off of that level. So we'll wait to see if we can get that right now. Nvidia downside push right now into 123.20 is where we're now bidding. Hopefully we're able to capture something in and around there, but that kind of feels not that great as it's trying to push back in. I really do like, yo, what's up, my guy Shane D. What up, Shane? What are my thoughts right now? Thank you so much. I'm gonna like that right there. What? Hey, there's that matcha we can get. Yeah, Ramin, there's a matcha for you. Too bad we don't actually get this money, but that would be good. Just goes to support the show. So thank you to everybody for that. You are the show. I'm supporting you every day. Threw that chocolate at you the other day. That was good support. Yeah, that's the bump on your head there. You could take time off for that, Ramin. You know, if you want to. Okay, so right there, what are my thoughts on RKLB? So that's Rocket Lab, is it not? RKLB, let's have a quick little look there for the breakout for the short term. Okay, so that is Rocket Lab. So here we go. RKLB. That's so funny. That's what that bump is on her head. That's hilarious. Okay, so just looking at what Rocket Lab's doing. So, all right, once this daily goes, yes. Okay, so great little move there. When are we reporting on Rocket Lab? Let me just have a quick look to see. Make sure that there's nothing in our way here, RKLB. Or again, November 6th, okay, so moot point right there. Short float of 18%. We definitely like that. If you're playing breakouts that have already happened, you got a short float of 18%. So where is that going to be? Days to cover, we can find out on Rocket Lab as well. Days to cover 5. So, okay, so that's good, man. I like that. That's good. Days to cover 5. That means it's going to take 5 days of average volume to cover all of those shares short. And if they just got broken out right now, this is only day one. I think Rocket Labs continues. That's a good chart. Great breakout. We zoom out to get a little bit of a better look. But wow, there's the breakout there as well. I think, who was that? Yo, Shane D, man, to take a line from my guy, Jim Cramer there, you've got that horse sense. That's a good play, breaking through $8. I like that level right there. So I'd say you are smooth sailing for that, my friend. Good level there, RKLB. Congratulations to be able to find that. Looks like you got one there. I like Rocket Lab. I think if you're already playing it, then you can go back to $7.50, even $7 for a possible pullback there. But yeah, cleared up. You bounced off the 200, you bounced off the 50 twice. I like that one. Great look over there for Shane D. Good one. All right. I'm only in Nvidia.
How is this still going on?
Dell, okay. Fail. Right there on Dell. Don't feel good about not having it, but feel fine. We already got stopped out there. Again, we were able to make money on Nvidia while we had that. We knew there was going to be sort of that conflict of interest is maybe the best word there, that we knew that we would have on Dell long and Nvidia short. And that conflict of interest rears its ugly head right there as we get stopped out of that one, but able to bank on Z's one. This just came back into 20s again. I bet at 26s. That did not fill. Let's just bid a 30 and get it over with. There it is. Nice trade for us on that one. As we do wind up bidding 30s and getting that fill. I just don't, what's the point? I was at 25s. Like, honestly, just to get out, we now only have less, we have actually around 10% left of this initial trade. You can probably see about 10 outs. Let's wait to see if we can hold this into the close. Remember, it's only 15 minutes away. And then we have those imbalances.
Yeah.
We saw a nasty move yesterday on balances. Was it Apple or Amazon? I guess we could look at the chart.
Well, it was both of them, though.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because I think I was in one of them.
It was Apple and Amazon yesterday. There was one other one. No, there was one other, but it was Apple and Amazon.
It might have been Nvidia.
It might have. You know what? I don't.
Hold on. Let me do a look.
I'm sure about Apple and Amazon. I don't
easy
remember.
ways to check this.
Yeah, just look at the news.
Yeah. So as of
Apple for
3:50
sure.
yesterday, come over to the chart. Yeah. So it was Nvidia. There's Nvidia at 350. Was 121.15. It goes all the way down to 120.50. So not a huge move there. Might have been something better.
But Apple ran the lows yesterday.
Okay.
And then rallied it basically, Apple broke the low of the day on the imbalances coming out, tanked almost like a buck, and then rallied like $1.50, on a big reversal play. So, I feel like Apple, any of the big cap tech names are worth a watch here, but it's still just NU on the early look. It's the same three names that was 15 minutes ago when we looked at this. NU, GM, and BAC. Palantir's and 850,000 to the buy side. Palantir's, it's weird. We would have talked about this more if it looked like it was going to have any chance at breaking out this top today. Not all-time highs or 52-week highs or anything, but just this lower high. It stands out like a sore thumb. 37.20, 37.20, 37.20. There's a real wick from this morning. 37.20. Just it's making the bounce play off 36.5. The next step would just be breaking out 37.20. I feel like there's a chance that it could go. I was asked. There was a good point in the chat. I just wrote this on my iPad too. Am I looking at Novavax for an SSR bounce tomorrow? Well, it's down 10% today. So that means tomorrow it's going to be short sell restricted. That just means you can't hit the bid to go short without the last tick being an uptick. It's just the uptick rule. You can still short the stock. It's just the uptick rules in effect. The thing about when you look for an SSR bounce, it's not just, it's down 10%, I'm going to go long the stock. I want it to be bouncing off something. $11 looks really good for a bounce play. This 12 is kind of muted. It looks like a really bad place to be looking for a long when this stock has all the world resistance at 14 that it just rejected and is in a downward trend. I think $11 would be more interesting, and it's got to go down another 10%. Before it gets there. But I'm going to have it on the radar at least, this one. So we'll see what's happening there with Novavax. DJT's not doing anything. Palantir said tomorrow, I think it's more of an idea, that 37.20 for tomorrow. Even if by some, I don't know, it's not a miracle for it to go 10 cents, because it's really just 10, 15 cents away from that high. It's just a little bit late in the day. I don't want to take a breakout up here at 37.20 and be punching long as it makes the high on imbalances. I feel like that's just too much of a trap. I always feel like you're going to get mean reversions on regular imbalances. Like, this isn't a special day for Palantir like it was on Friday.
Right, yeah, and we sort of talked about that a little bit before as well, and that was is that like, I don't know how much of that bump up is the hangover from, momentum in the name from that S&P inclusion. So I'm going to stay away from Palantir just for a couple minutes and then wait to see maybe, we'll look at it every morning. And if we start to break some of those levels, as Neil just mentioned there, then we will look more carefully at them. Someone in the chat said this is like looking at paint drying. I mean, I could not agree more, which is why we went right over there to Nvidia and did this. Like, can you believe we've taken out like multiple pennies? Like, this is the thing. So Nvidia's range right now is basically, since we started this trade, 53s to 25. So that's 25 pennies. We've taken many times more than that, in and out and reloaded and back as well. So let's just continue to sort of watch this. We only have 1 minute now when these imbalances come out. So let's just understand where our stops are, first of all. I'm going to refresh my blotter to make sure that I do have the necessary stops. You don't want to get taken by surprise here. All right, so, Nvidia, 126.60 break. We're out of that. So we'll watch out for that. Rivian, I don't have a stop on Rivian. So we'll wait to see if Rivian comes out as sell imbalance. We are bidding 111.01s. So we'll try to get that low of the day on Rivian. We do have the high of the day on Rivian. We're going to try to get right into there as well. Not really an ego thing. We could just take it out. Let's just wait to see. Only 10 seconds left. I mean, I just want to get out because it's down near $11. If that happens, it happens. If we have to punch out, we can punch out. This is not a big trade for me. We've talked about that. I did not get my full default, so we'll wait. And there it is. Now the imbalances come out. So let's just wait on Rivian making moves. Nvidia right now, maybe. AMPC, ADMA. I don't know any of these, to be honest with you right now.
ADMA.
There's Nvidia's a buy. There's Nvidia's a buy, 500,000. So that's starting to go back up to the upside. Not a big enough number for me to jump out of this trade. But again, we only have 10% left. So on a break, we're gone on that.
So I'm going to check to see if this thing's a delete or something, because that VTRS is a 3.8 million sell. It's only done 4 million shares today, and it did make it pretty. And it's been trending down all day long. So just want to quickly. There's no imbalances on the big cap tech names or anything like that. I just got out of AstraZeneca. No, it doesn't come up in a search of our portal here, and. Yeah, I guess maybe it is in VTRS.
Check Benzinga.
No, I don't see it. I can check Benzing as well in a quick second, but I'm not seeing...
Same thing is with AM. Neil, I think you're right. There's going to be something with AM and VTRS.
There's got to be.
Because they're both. So I don't know if one is a buyout or not. It doesn't look like it on the chart. But this could be a index change, maybe. So that's...
you know what? There's they announced a tender. So sometimes when there's a tender, you can get... If they're in even a small cap index, you might... There can be a reweighting when there's some dilution, so that it could be related to that. And they're even saying, this breaking low of the day on volume, but that's because of the imbalance. Broke low of the day on the volume because of the imbalance. I see in the chat there, Havana Woody saying DJT must be a buy. I've literally never seen DJT in the imbalance locator for any significant size.
Is that Donald just buying more shares or getting out, or what is he doing?
I mean, it's bouncing off VWAP. And you know what? This is actually not a bad setup. If you're trading this, and you liked it, look at the barcode off VWAP here, then this is a quick little run some stops underneath and go. And I think that's all that just happened here. So ran some stops off VWAP and now catching a bit of a bid. I didn't see any number on the imbalance locator. So that AstraZeneca, as I said, you were at that resistance. Whoops, it is AZN, not just AN, which is apparently actually a stock. Believe it or not, no idea what it is. AstraZeneca, another fail of the high. So we bounced off VWAP on that FDA approval news of a cancer drug that I couldn't pronounce.
Right.
It's true. I never get them right. Opie's really good at those, but I'm terrible at them. But a double top here at 77.65. So it loses that double top and then get out on a lower high. So it gives you a decent sized move, but ideally, if a drug company gets an approval, you want it to really go. It gave you 20 cents in there. And when you look at what's been happening to the stock, you'd like to think it would do a little bit more than that. Wow, that's not a good looker. Pfizer didn't have a very good day at all today either. Some of this group.
Yeah.
I've been looking for Pfizer to add to my personal account, by the way. And I've been waiting for one thing and one thing alone on Pfizer. It's above the 50 period. It's made a rounded bottom. It's above the 200 period moving average. I just needed to reclaim $30, and then I want to add to this in my personal. Like, it's doing everything right, but I'd like to see it start breaking back out again. I just feel like if they get anything right when it comes to GLP, where you're not having to essentially inject yourself, and oral's the way to go. But Pfizer down 2% today. AstraZeneca, not a bad move, but you'd like to see more than that out of them.
All right, so we get out it there on Rivian. So it makes the move down in. It's 11:03. I just saw the 05 print, took that out. We're now out of Rivian as it comes right back in. So there's Rivian. Good trade on that one, man. We'll flush. Oh, man, we could have just waited for it. There's Rivian again today. Top, bottom. I guess we could have had $11. I didn't see Rivian on here. So again, a little bit of my bad there. I got out and we did not give it enough room. What's up, Adam? You just said nice trade to me. I don't know which one, but we're going to put another bid here on 31s for Nvidia, and just to end the day off with another banger, right? I mean, hopefully we can get it. I don't know if we're going to get it or not, but Nvidia, we only have 10% left. We'll see if we could take a piece out and then just hold a very, very small piece in case we do eventually flush. But there comes there comes Nvidia. Back down into 123.35. Wow, busy day here for sure, man. Busy day, lots of trading, lots of trades. We only traded 3 days. No, you don't have to do anything. We're doing lots of stuff over here. Amazon, we're up on Amazon. That's what it looks like today. We actually do have, oh, there goes Nvidia. Guess it must have just flipped up there. So it's 355. Let's just look at these imbalances. Nvidia was a sell, right? Or no, it was a buy, I think.
1 million buy.
All right, so here we go, 3, 2, and 1. Let's just find out what it wants to do right now. That's going to be Nvidia.
They parroted drops.
So, all right, ooh, nice, ooh.
It
just flushed down to 36s. Did we get that, Phil? No, we did not. We were bidding 31s right there. You could see, man, it's a big liquidity event. I don't know if you guys saw what just happened there.
It parried.
Bid dropped, yeah, and then all of a sudden it just reignited itself right there. So good moves there for Nvidia, for sure. We're still in it. But there it goes. It may just pair itself right off. Whatever, man. It's not a big position. Let's see if we do wind up getting that 31 bid on NVDA. One more thing to talk about, Neil. What else do you want before you go over there?
No,
and then I'll take this home.
Last thoughts, we're going to go over to the desk. It's Micron after the bell at 4:05. We're expecting them. They're up 2 points, and it's breaking higher. There wasn't an imbalance on this at all. I didn't see an imbalance to the upside on Apple. I don't know. I'm looking over at yours, but Apple just did this. And it's now, yeah, I mean, the market's trying to bounce, but Apple with a pretty distinct move in there. Tesla tried to break 257. I don't want it to break 257. I want it to break 257 tomorrow so we can take a breakout trade because we're not taking it in the aftermarket. Mm-hmm. But Tesla getting very, very close. Apple looking pretty strong. I'd say it's because the Meta Connect event ended, but like I still have it up and it's still live. I don't even know what the heck they're talking about anymore.
It's still on? It's 2 hours.
Well, I don't know, man. Like I'm still going on my phone unless they have me watching something else. Probably, I have no idea. They probably switched to some other nonsense, and I wasn't listening, so I didn't even realize it. But I'm going to join you guys. We'll be back at the desk, so don't do anything. We got Micron earnings. Let's get some Q&A in. Chris Bretcher's in. Ooh. He's in Disney World.
What?
So he can't be. Yeah.
You just win the Super Bowl or something?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, that's great. I mean, I'm happy for him. I can't wait to be able to take my daughter there, but he won't make it tonight. So get your questions, and we'll do a little bit of Q&A with the viewers and talk a little Micron as I go over to the desk. Good luck. You're still in I'm in Nvidia,
but it's very, very small. I already got a piece out. I was just waiting to see if we could get something else here for Nvidia. It does not look like it, guys. So, okay, so just real quick, we take a 40 fill right there on NVDA, so we take that out. I am now waiting for a 30 fill. If it comes in, great. If it doesn't, great also. I can't control what fills at the end of the day, but here it comes in, 123.30. Let's see if we could take it, man, and just cap off the day. Again, good trading today. We don't really have any sort of blemishes on the account here. So we'll just keep on doing what we're doing, man. And, 3 minutes left, 2.5 minutes left. I want to have everyone hit the like and hit the subscribe. You know what? How many people do we have right now? Let me just go over here.
You've been sitting there the whole time.
Quick little look at this. Over 3,700 watching right now. I'm going to hit, I guess I got to refresh to see how many thumbs up we have. Hold on one second. Let me just refresh. Oh, no. Now I'm going to get an ad probably. Hey, what's up, guy? Right there. We only have 371 likes. Cut the stream. Cut the stream immediately. Only 372 likes. Like, honestly, 374, 375. If we don't get I'm serious. All right, so there, 412, thank you so much. Let's get this going up. Over 3,700 of you watching, man. All we're giving is winners. All right, anyways, thank you so much. Now it's up to 500. That's how you boost it by 25%. So thank you so much for that one. Let's get going even more. Let's see if we can get to 700. But 600 coming through. That's a double right there. We've got some chicken dinner winners for everybody there. We'll go bang on that one. Are we at 700? Can I hear 700? Look at this, Neil. Someone's calling. His name is B and ends with a P. I wonder if he wants something. Dude, here we go. Watch this. Yo, what's up? Yo. Yeah, man, we're live on the air, guy. You're live on the air. You're now famous. All right, here we go. Look, there. Yo, what's up? There he is. He's live on the air, baby. He's live on the air. We'll talk to you after. I'll phone you after. All right, I gotta talk. Bye. All right, there it is. There we go. Look, Barber's live on the air. Friends live on the air. And we have over 1,000 likes right now. That's how you get it tripled up. I say thank you to everybody. Once again, man, we just got over 1,000 likes right there. That's how you do it, man. Yeah, we ain't manipulating stocks, but we're manipulating that one, baby. All right, with only 30 seconds to go, Brendan, get over here and ring the bell, or Ramin or somebody. If Ramin throws something, bell. Oh, the bell is also sponsored by Firefly, revolutionizing brain health. Not only do you guys get that, look, because you got almost 1,000, there we go, it's Ramin. She's got a keyboard there. She's working everywhere. Like, there's not even any stopping any of our great employees right now. Countdown is now on. We have 10 seconds left. Firefly has brought to you the closing bell once again. So thank you to everybody. 3, 2, and 1. I like it. That is the close to the day right there. So far, so good, man. Let's just keep on with the good vibes. Over 1,000. So we want to say thank you so much for you guys cooking up those likes. That was a big one, man. Maybe we should do that more often. We used to do that all the time. Maybe every day. Yeah, perhaps maybe multiple times a day. All right. Look, it's Micron earnings. I don't want to keep you for too long because when those come in, you're going to want Neil and you're going to want those reactions. So we'll wait for it. It doesn't look like it's. You just tell me when we're ready. I give Neil a couple seconds to log in here. All right. Micron right now down, up 2% to go. Neil is ready, apparently like spaghetti. So thank you to Fabian. Great day. Satya, thank you so much. Thank you so much to Sharif. Thank you so much to Brendo for filling in for Adara on the desk. That's so funny to say that. Thank you to Ramin as well. I just said thank you to Ramin. Like, Ramin, you want to sit down right here and host the show with me? I mean, that might be fun. Oh my gosh, that would be wild. All right, thank you so much. We're back tomorrow, so make sure. There's Micron. Micron just broke $100. Let's get over to Neil. Micron's ripping. See ya.
Already to the upside is Micron. Look, we're not even expecting the numbers till 405, but it is 101. We're breaking out here. Now up 1%. Oh, sorry, almost 1.5%. 96 to 102 on Micron. I can tell you, I have not seen the numbers come through yet, but I'm going to guess we beat. We're looking to the upside on this bad boy. No questions asked, but that had a lot to do with where this sucker was coming from here on MU. It's going to change so you can see the daily chart in here as well. So breaking out on the daily, 100 is now a thing in the past. Watch out for 08, 09. Now remember, we're expecting a 10% move, or just under a 10% move for Micron. That's what the options market was expecting, a 9.6% move on MU. And we're getting, only a few points in there. From bottom here at 96, you're already making that 10. So obviously, you could find some resistance in here. It's not just them that's going, but we're seeing a host of other names flying along with it here. Lamb went to the upside. We've got Nvidia spiking $1 there. LRCX just made a bit of a move, but it's all about Micron as we speak. Still waiting for us. It's that DRAM, like John said. It's that DRAM. So Micron with the EPS beat, it's 118 versus 113. Sales, they have a 7.75 billion versus 7.63. So it's a beat on the top and the bottom. I have not seen any guidance, but the market don't care. Market's just going to say we're buying this bad boy up. And that's what happens when you're breaking the trend. I mean, this stock's been beaten up in a bad way all the way down at 80 bucks, and it made that local breakout, that 91.5. Now we're just headed higher. Oh, I'm telling you, I'm gonna cry a tear for anyone on the death cross. Anybody that took this short when it had a death cross, all it proceeded to do was break that sucker out. I'm really starting to love this setup. Show me a death cross on a chart and a stock that does a breakout setup, and you've trapped a bunch of technical traders into a consolidation short, and then you just break out the long. It's like the third time I've seen this in the last couple of weeks. I love it. If Chris was here, I think we'd be joking about this one as well. But Micron, top and bottom line beat. You're now through the 200 period moving average, so you are now bigger than the expected move. So we're 13% up to the upside here on Micron with the expectations of 9.5%. We are dragging a few things along with it, as I mentioned. You had Lamb in here, LRCX. Saw them make a bit of a move. Here's Lamb. If you're not familiar with Lamb, by the way, Chris is in Disneyland, Disney World. He's not going to be able to make it today. So we're going to do some Q&A with you guys. We can talk about whatever you want to. But I see down there, Chris Bretcher is not able to make it today, unfortunately. But Lamb, as I said, they make the machines and the stuff that makes the chips, right? And they're involved in the DRAM side. So that's why they're up 3%. So a beat on the top and bottom for Micron. And now with Q1 revenue, yada, yada. They're seeing Q1 revenue at 8.7 and adjusted EPS at 166 to 182. I'm not getting any comparables on that guidance just yet, but yeah, they have given their Q1 look for revenue, and the market's still seeming to like most of this. So Lamb up only 3% because it's a Micron type party, and they are the big boys. They did come out a little bit early, but no one minds. If you're going to drop the earnings early, at least make it a beat, right? And that's exactly what we're going to see here. Absolutely loving to see this. When overall, it wasn't even that great of a day for the market. Like, it's hard to point to any of the individual sectors and say it was a good day. Heck, it was really just all about the chip names here in today, and some continuation happening with this Micron move. I got to absolutely love this. In terms of where this might pull back to, because I'm seeing it's dipping a little bit here. So a couple of things to keep in mind. If expected move is 9.5%, it gets down to 103, like that would be the spot where you would expect on that level you could get a little bit of buying maybe. But on the daily chart, you're not going to have anything. Like you've broken through 100. That's the obvious area of support. Do you really think we're going to drop 4% in here? I think what I'm keeping an eye on is the top that we put in at that 200 period moving average. I mean, if you can clear that, it feels like smooth sailings. As I said, the trend is already broken out, and it looks fantastic here on MU. I like things that are breaking out bottoms. And if you can go on fundamentals as well as technicals, to me, that's just all the better. As we looked at the end of the day there, you saw Sean trading Nvidia off of VWAP. Obviously, that's going to have nothing to do with the earnings move, but Nvidia taking it out, 123.5. Now it's chilling out, 2.75 to the upside, almost 3% for Nvidia. Could be retesting this 125 right quick, but some sympathy moves up here. It is a chip kind of day, no questions about it. Nvidia was wild action, certainly a little bit earlier in the day. Let me pull up a 3-minute chart so you guys can see what was going on with Nvidia early. So it's a decent move up, but you're not really re-challenging that 125 from earlier. I mean, the true story and the real story on Nvidia is still going to be the 122. You know, that was the only trade you needed. It was step by step, and I'm not talking about, ooh, baby, gonna get to you, girl, like that New Kids on the Block. Shout out to them. They're old school. No, it was 122 and step by step up to 125. And it was from there to AMD, which was just as strong later on in the session on advanced micro devices. It felt like, you know, they kind of passed the torch to AMD. It's up as well in the aftermarket, up 3%. But after the opening move, AMD kind of took charge. And it stayed going higher and higher and higher. And the reason I want to bring that up is we've seen this before, where you had that big move in Nvidia, and Nvidia just steals everybody's hearts, and then you get a little bit distracted when AMD wants to try to go parabolic. And AMD closed above the 200 period as well. Oh yeah, by the way, there's another death cross. Another death cross on the daily chart and a stock that's trying to break out the highs. Yeah, it's going to probably run some shorts into some trouble if we take out 163 tomorrow on AMD. This is one to watch. Higher lows on AMD. 200 period take on AMD. Showed strength in the afternoon. Micron beating the top and the bottom, and they like the guidance as well. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Sebastian, I see you up there. Have a lot of fun. But if you're not looking at the chips tomorrow, if you're not looking at AMD, Nvidia, Micron, Intel to start it off, I don't know where else you should be looking. Okay, maybe Tesla 227. I kind of like that level as well. Tesla's a great stock in addition to that, but this is looking very juicy. The only problem with this high on AMD is that you're kind of already breaking it, but that's okay because we can join trends as well. There's nothing wrong with that. If it just wants to trend up above that 163, obviously you can't take the breakout now unless you're trading it, but we're going to go to the sectors because there's a reason I'm talking about the chips here, and it's not just because of Micron. And like, what's green today? Okay, UNG's up what? 0.25%? NASDAQ's up. I can barely read it. It's so small. It's 0.09. My eyes aren't that bad, actually. Wheat's up, and usually when wheat's leading on the sector board to the upside, you know it was a nothing day. And I'll get to some of the things that are red up in smoke. You can see what's going on there. But the SMH blowing out the top. Why? Well, because Micron's going up and dragging everything else up with it. Now, keep in mind here, on SMH, what I love about this is you've already got higher lows. What you're now trying to do is higher highs. So while you have a host of names already breaking out, we still got room to go here. There's your 50-100. We've got 252. We're in the rear view of the 200-period moving average. I feel like we should get a test of this. Unless there's some weird pullback on Micron because they don't like the call, as long as it holds on to these hundreds in the 103 area, and as long as Nvidia continues to look strong, I mean, AMD's obviously doing great. I don't see why you're not retesting 252 up here on the old SMH. And a big shout out to Danielle Shea, who basically was telling everybody, and you can buy whatever you want, but the 200 period on the SMH has been a nice, easy trade. You don't have to worry about which one of them is going, which is leading the sector, what's lagging, because the SMH is by the group. Catch it off that 200 period. It's a great place to buy and hold. Apparently, it's a great place to trade as well. So like you say, you're in there, BB, get the chips with the dip and guacamole. Only problem is, take it easy, Sean. Don't trade with Bala unless, okay, good. So by the way, okay, so when Sean got a phone call live on the show, and you saw he put our good friend live on the show, I know he's calling for fantasy football trades, right? Always trying to get a little something going. We've known each other all since high school, trying to make a trade. He knows he's on air in that moment, but I also know that man is in a happy mood. That's why he wants to trade, because the guy has a bunch of Tesla shares, and Tesla with a good day today. But just to finish the thought on SMH, like, I do think we get this 252.5 test. The chips with the dip is great, except for the fact that I'm not sure you can count on the dip. And we've talked about this before. Everybody always wants to buy low and sell high. That's great. There is nothing wrong with buying low and selling high. Yeah, you could already be in Micron, but sometimes you got to be able to buy high and sell higher. Like if you see something breaking out or that's already broken out, you can join the trend. You can join the trend buying inside of the day at VWAP or off moving averages, or just take the stairs up, the next available curl, as I like to call it, back into prior highs, whatever it is. I don't care what it is, to be honest with you. When the trend reverses or the trend continues, you just want to be in it. And I feel like Micron it's more of the latter. It's the trend reversal here on Micron. And look at it. Holding beautifully, what did I say, 103? 103.5. So the reason I was looking at 103, the expected move 9.5%, as we said, that would have given you about to that 103 from the close, and ultimately that's where it's trying to bounce to. So right back in at that 105, we're up 12%, beat on the top and the bottom here for Micron. They like the guidance as well. There's nothing wrong with that. Dardar, we'll get to, you know what? We'll keep it positive. And I say this every single time. Dardar says, not me, I buy high and sell low. And in all seriousness, because I know you're messing around and joking around, everyone likes to do that. But in all seriousness, one of my favorite observations, and I tell this to traders all the time, if you buy at the top wick, or it seems like you're always buying the actual high of the day, or maybe you get out of the trade when it makes that low, you just feel like you're always making that wrong entry point. Here's the truth about that. If you execute, I don't care the direction, if you execute and make a decision at the price that was the turn, that was the key level for you to execute on, then you have picked the exact right level. So what you've been able to do is find the most important spot on the thing you're trading to make a decision. Okay, so you made the wrong decision. But there's a reason why we like, Sean, myself, and Michael Noss love support and resistance, and a lot of the traders on the floor, Max, Obi, I mean, everybody's into this sort of thing. The first thing is, are you trading the right thing? The second thing is, are you looking at the stock in the right moment? Like, when should you be finding a key point to buy and sell? And then from there, you work on making a good entry in the right direction. Okay, so you're trying to fill all these pieces of the puzzle. Then do you have a good reason to get out? Do I have a good level to get out of it? Do I have some ideas on how to take profit? All of those things, you add them together, they make a trade. And so not to harp on it, but I mean, if you're buying at the top and selling at the bottom, you're getting a piece of the puzzle, and you've got to find a way to still keep that portion of it. But then, okay, so why did I like the long there? Should I have been looking at a reversion? I've seen a lot of traders turn into mean reversion traders because they keep buying the top. And they're like, I always seem to pick the top because I'm buying the top of the move. So they look at it and say, well, let me find out a reversion strategy, let's just say, and I'm going to use LightSpeed as an example here. And thank you for this, because sometimes that's just how the mind works, man. And sometimes we'll look at these moves, and if you find yourself in a strong upward trend, always buying this top, let's say a 16 break, when you're trying to chase it, what you want to look for is some kind of a trend that gives you a decision around that point or off of that level. So where you turn to mean reversion is to look at, and this is just what I do in terms of mean reversion trading, is I'll check it out the first initial move on a 3-minute here, and then you get a bit of a consolidation, a retake of the high. So there's two ways I'd look at it. One, retake of the high, there's your secondary trend. Sometimes it lines up with the first trend. In this case, it does. And then what I would do here is, on a mean reversion, you're looking for a break under and then a short off of this level. Now, whether you're looking home run short to this at 16, or you're looking like I was today, baby short at 80, giving it to 90, and I'll give you a reason why in a quick second, it doesn't necessarily matter. So if you find yourself always buying the highs of these moves, then recognize, okay, the news came out here, the consolidation for the late money came in here. That third step, it's a good reason to get it. It's a good reason to make a decision here. But if you find that your decision is always the wrong way, give yourself some kind of a mean reversion setup. Maybe you use Fibonacci's. I don't know. I don't use Fibonacci's myself. I'm not big on the moving averages either. I like to draw some trend lines in there. But just sort of tinker with ideas that work for you. Find yourself a short. And now why I didn't think this was a short 80, give to 16 even, and hold to the bottom was the nature of the news on LightSpeed. It was because it was JP Morgan, partnering with JP Morgan to pursue the possible avenue of getting a sale, right? So they're looking to find interested buyers in the stock. Sometimes that puts a good floor on the stock, especially when it's been a little bit beaten up, or in the case here of LightSpeed. Let me just go to the daily chart and zoom it out for you. Well, you don't need to zoom it out. In the case of LightSpeed, when you've been making a reversal pattern, sometimes you put a bit of a floor on the stock. And when the moving averages start to get respected while they're looking for interested buyers. So I hope that helps. I've been there before. Everybody's been there before. This is the thing. Nobody that's ever traded and traded for real for any length of time, for any amount of money, can sit there and say that they've never made the bottom or the top in the wrong way. It happens. It's going to happen to you. So you want to learn to try to just learn from it, move on to the next. You saw it wasn't a good day yesterday. Sean and I were both red yesterday. The afternoon was much better, obviously, but today you just sort of get back on the horse, try to improve on the things that went wrong yesterday and try to fixate on the things that went right. That's exactly why the Nvidia breakout was there and the Intel breakout was there. And we just looked at what worked yesterday the best. It was that initial break. So then just make those your trade. If you can. Chef Joe in the chat rightly pointing out AMAT. I know I said lamb, and That's kind of my bad because we could have looked at a heck of a lot of other names in here that are going sympathy off of the move in Micron. So Lam was like 2.75%, I think. Now you've got Applied Materials up 3%, back above $200. Again, just like Lam, they make the things that make the chips. They make the machines that make the chips. So they're, I feel like, often overlooked in this space. And oh goodness, are you kidding me? It's here again. Oh, Chef Joe, this gets even better. One more time, yesterday. This death cross yesterday. Now, if anybody uses a death cross for their trades or for swing trading, I'm not here to poo-poo on it. It's just I feel like I'm pulling up a chart every 5 minutes and I'm seeing a death cross and then a breakout to the upside. And if that's what, and the reason I like that trade is any trade where you have traders trapped in the other direction on an obvious setup, that just has more juice to it. That's what squeeze names are all about. That's why we like squeeze names. That's why everyone liked all the meme names. Because there were obvious people that would want to be shorting the stock and shorting the pops, and then it just keeps going. That's the best place to be in. So you have the 50 and the 200 back above here on AMAT. Micron, good earnings, the entire sector up. You're breaking out from resistance at $200 anyways. You've got a clear target to 212. This is all over the radar, and it's got to be. Freddie, the friendly guy 2.0, just said this. Do you remember AMAT back in the 2000s? So just if you're taking it way back for me. And the reason you're taking it way back, so when I went live trading in 2003, at the time they had like my trainee group was split up into two groups. It was about 20 people. I think we were like 20 or 21, like 10 in one, like 11 in the other. And so one half of it was trading small caps, and then the other half were trading big cap tech. And so the four names that we were looking at that we had to look at, it was AMAT, it was Oracle, it was Intel, and I believe it might have been Microsoft. I was waiver on the last one because I don't think I traded that one. I felt like it was not part of mine. But AMAT was one that I definitely traded. Oracle I probably traded a bunch of as well back in that day. So you better believe I remember AMAT. Not much of a trading stock lately, but like everything else, it's starting to go back in. This is a trend reversal. We can all thank Micron for this. But I just saw in the chat, TH, there is a whole lot of red. And I promise, I said I would get to it. No, we have to acknowledge some of the red that you saw in here today. Up in smoke, weed. Although I have trend lines drawn on MSOS. And the reason I do is I'm looking for this. It's not for it to hold like one day above this trend. Like it's broken this trend, the lower highs here, and then the lower lows. It's broken that out once and failed. It broke it out again yesterday, but it hasn't failed it yet. See how it's kind of trying to come back above? Now, this is the 50-period moving average. So if it can hold above the 50-period moving average and break out this high, to me, that's a trend reversal on MSOS. So hold the support, break out the local high after doing so, and then I think you can rally at least into the 200 period. So that's MSOS. Jets, I don't know if anyone actually cares about the airlines. They're down. Goodness, Boeing making fresh lows again today. What can Boeing do right at this point? Nothing, more or less. Silver, I saw a few people talking about this. SLV making a fresh triple top and then pulling back. So going right into the highs and predictably pulling back off of some resistance. But we had a lot of weakness today, but 2.5% to the downside. K-Web and the Chinese ADRs, everybody. Not the best day for them. There was a rally. This is the problem with looking at percent up or down in a vacuum, and why I wanted to go over this specifically. Just go to the 3-minute here. If you looked at what actually happened, it was just a hold of the low and then a consolidation higher. So really, it was a gap down overnight and then buying in all of the names. I still think PDD is going to be a sell in the 115 to 120 range, but Alibaba, PDD, JD, like all of them, they all bounced in here today despite that gap to the downside. SOS, here's a great question. What do you consider a good return for a day trader, percentage-wise? So I can only speak from experience. I can't tell you this is a good return percentage for a day trader because I'm a prop trader, and prop traders trade firm capital and get a commission on it. So you have the allotted buying power that you get, and then you earn a commission You're not sitting there on your own bankroll and trying to turn over a percentage of that, right? So I can't give you that because I've never done it. I never had to do it. I always did it the other way. And for most traders, what you want to try, for a prop trader, which I can't talk about, your goal is to look at what your daily loss limit might be and then just always try to be beating that, because then that allows you to be bigger than the amounts that you're allowed to lose or the amounts that you lose when you're wrong, and then you can be constantly growing. Now, that's a half the answer. The other half of it is, are you doing it for a side hustle or for your main job? Because if you're doing it as your job, then you have to start thinking about the levels that pay your bills. You know, and I know when I started out, thankfully I was living at home. I was really lucky about that, and I was kind of cheap too at the time. When I started out, I got to the point of graduating. I got to the point of trying to ramp up as well, and I was doing that whole MPP thing, which is monthly profit projections, which we have here at Real Trading, and just wanted to beat that when I was a trainee. Once I graduated, everything focused to how much do I need to actually make a living off this, and can I safely scale to that on the strategies that are working? And I was blessed to have had a lot of great, smart people around me. And I was fortunate, probably fortunate in the time to be trading penny stocks when they were really good. So that worked out. But it's very different trading your own money. And if you're trading it as a side gig, then you can be a little bit more disciplined and not having to worry about paying your bills and ramping up too fast. Because ultimately, if you do this for a living and it's your only income, that's not easy. And my suggestion to anyone that ever tries that is, if you have the advantage of, if you're young, staying at home, eating cheap, not necessarily going out with as much as your friends were. I was getting clowned. My girlfriend at the time was pressuring me to move away out of the house. And I was like, no, I'm saving every penny till I have a bankroll because I'm earning commission trading. This is my job and it's hard. I don't know if it's going to last. And so I did that for a while. Obviously, everything ended up working out, but it's not easy. And I hate when people try to tell you that trading is easy because darn sure isn't as far as I'm concerned. Oh, Medina in the chat saying Save also had new lows as well. Yeah, wow. Yeah, oh my goodness, the airline names, this sector stinks. I tend to believe Save the airlines, Fabian just said. Save what airlines? I've never believed these are investable because they're tradable. No, the sector is tradable because there's bounces here and there, but like it just seems like the airlines go from failure to bailout to failure to bailout. I think of them like a utility, and I think things that are traded for a profit or in the public markets that should be utilities are good for trades and not for holds. It's just my personal opinion on them. Who knows? What else do we have in here? Yeah, I'm not going to get... Ari Page just asked about my ex. She's doing absolutely wonderful, and to be honest, like at the time, I got great support. I had fantastic support from her at the time for wanting to do this. I got fantastic support from my friends, obviously Sean, and I had fantastic support from my dad, from my brother. Like it's not an easy thing to get a university degree in economics, and then everyone that you know is usually going out and getting jobs at banks and traditional jobs, and you want to day trade for a commission. Like it's not the kind of thing that at the dinner table goes over all that well, but I had a lot of support. I think it's important. That's why we have the community that we do, everybody, because we have to support each other because we're all we got as traders at the end of the day. It's a thankless job a lot of times. A couple more questions in here. CompuCare team, how did you make trading your full-time job? I put more, like the second I graduated, I put 3x the capital. I graduated, and then the stocks that were working for me, I was making money penny stock trading, okay? So I just started taking all the good penny stock trading that I was doing, and when I got the extra risk after graduating, I just did more of that. And then I built that up, and I would only add new strategies as they presented themselves, but never for the full size. Like I would always focus my capital on things that were working, and new things, I was humble enough to start small on anything that was a strategy I was trying out, and then grow from there. But I knew where my bread was buttered. And if strategy XYZ was making me money, capital was going to that. And if ABC was new, then I'm putting small amounts in it and developing it, but trading it seriously because it is your job. That's what you have to be able to do there. Neo Rob, we only have a couple minutes to go. I'm going to get the roll call. Any thoughts on Dual on the daily chart? So, I promise we do some questions here. Duolingo, we had this discussion with regards to Constellation Energy. when we're looking at a daily chart with a blue sky setup, there's not a heck of a lot, unless you're like a Fibonacci trader, which I'm not. I tend to keep things like this very, very simple. It's a blue sky setup. I'll look at the most recent obvious break at 215 to the high at 250. And then usually I'll say, okay, well, let's do that move to the upside and then look for a consolidation up there. So it already blew through that, which is 285 on dual. Let me just go to a different time frame here. You know what? Let me go to the 15 just this way and leave the daily chart up so you can see it. So it already did that move, but here, looky here. So remember what I said. You had that obvious breakout at 215, and then the previous high was $35 higher. So when it breaks out the next level, look for that 50 to 85 zone. Well, look what it did today. So it gave you breakout, hold 285. And I'm not sitting here saying that, okay, this is like the most tried and true strategy in the world. This is now the key level to hold. And if it breaks that, then look for whatever the local support is. That's $20 lower. There's nothing, you saw that double bottom at 285. That was the clear support today. This is how simple that napkin math was. I didn't know that that was going to work out. All I did is resistance here. This is why I love support and resistance. Resistance on Duolingo at about 215 on the daily, right? Previous high, 250. That's just a $35 move. Breakout 250, $35 higher is 285. So when it busts through, it wasn't at 285 when we broke today. It was at 274, and it goes up to 230. So where am I looking retracement? On the bigger picture, at the $35 level from the 250. And it just so happens that that was the support that you ended up with. So it's one of those things where if that's the level you're looking at, and I don't trade the stock, hopefully I would have been long, you get that 285. I try to keep things as simple as possible when it play support and resistance, play easy patterns, and then utilize those if they end up working out for you. So I think it's a good looking chart, but if it loses 85, maybe come back to like the 270 level in here looks pretty good. The 200 period moving average as well. It's already 4:30. Oh my goodness. I feel like, man, we could do this all day long, but we can't because I got to get home. My daughter's doing ninja parkour with our neighbor tonight, so that'll be a heck of a lot of fun to watch. So I got to get out there and do that. Neo Rob, analysis is fun to do. Looking at charts and talking about trades, this is what we do for a living in here. If you can't tell, we kind of like it. I love doing it sometimes. I get lost in the sauce when it comes to that. Henry Catch is saying Intel breaking out. Yeah, because Micron is kicking butt. That's what it's all about. But you know what comes here next? We got to do a roll call, everybody. The last thing we do at the end of our day here at Trader TV Live, but the first thing we do at the roll call is tell everybody to hit that subscribe, hit the like and subscribe. You can't get your name shouted out if you're not in the chat. You can't be in the chat if you don't hit that subscribe button right about now. And then I'm going to thank first Bears versus Bulls. Always put in work, the best moderator in the business. Then I'm going to go down the line, thank our entire team from Brendan to Sean to Adair who's on vacation. Big shout out to Sharif always. Big shout out to Fabian, Ramin, Andre. Our team does a fantastic job. Right now it happens to be Fabian on the desk. And then a very, 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 very special shout out, and I think she's still here, to filling in for Adara on the midday show. And everyone hit the ones and shout her out in the chat. Satya doing a great job, full day on the midday, filling in for Adara. So I want to make sure I get those all out. Then we can take care of all of you here. We got Matt Carnes in the chat. We got Scott Henderson, clap it up. Blue Arrow. We got Cap, no Cap here. CompuCare team in the chat. Seth, Gurev as well. Breaking VWAP. We love when we break VWAP. We got Bora Hout, Real Trader Stay Late, better believe it. Nicole Harris, U-Rock, BGZ, Blue Moon, NYC, Urbanista. We got Raul, Volky, Zion Lala, Whiskey 26. Ooh, I could go for a little bit of something after a good day. Seth, we got Josh as well. Palm Trees, Good Vibes, Mary S. Lyman, Freddie, the Friendly Guy 2.0, and then it just jumped on. Always does that. SOS, we got Christopher, Snorlax, Monty G, St. Vincent, bruh, Tay-T certified. It says bruh. Paul, we got Donkey Trader, Graph 808, Jai Singh, Mo, Nephew, Weeda Cap. Oh, that's a good one. Seth, we got Pillsbury, Yoshi G, Blue Arrow again, New York City Iron Worker Trader, holla at you. Scott Henderson, thank you guys so much in there. Breaking VWAP again, Bears vs. Bulls. Spark Shop, we have some new ones in there popping in the bottom. Ari Pages, shout out to you as well, Yoshi. Daryl Flinch in the chat, Down to Sky as well. Old Dog 67, Talent as well. And thank you, everybody. It's so much fun doing this every day. And like I said, the best part about it, get to come right back. Trade a little post earnings on Micron. Trade a little post earnings on Micron and all the chip names. And then after the bell tomorrow, you got Costco reporting. So the hits just keep on coming. And we're going to make more of them tomorrow. So make sure you tune in bright and early, 8:30 a.m., where we're going to be every day the market is open. We're Trader TV Live, and we'll see you tomorrow.